Yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? Hopefully I'm being heard because I ain't even did one of these in a minute. I ain't even gonna lie. I was trying to use the damn, what you call it, Restream? Restream. This is StreamYard. The other one was Restream. I was trying to use that, but that shit was acting crazy. Man, look, let me tell you something. Ain't no way in hell I'm paying for none of this shit to come on here and talk if my ass ain't monetized. That don't even sound right to me. This shit ain't that much of a hobby. Hell no. People come on here to put money in their pockets, not to empty their pockets into this. You crazy as hell. Hell no. But anyway, because I see people doing this a lot, right? And I want to say respectfully, but I feel like it need to be said because I don't really get it. It be looking kind of corny to me. But like, if folks don't like deal with somebody, if they don't rock with somebody, right? Like if you don't have a rapport with the person that you listening to, because folks be listening to people and they really be looking at them like a damn enemy. If I can't go in the chat of somebody that I'm listening to and actually communicate with them, I ain't listening to them. Used to do that. I ain't doing that no more. If I don't have the type of rapport where I could go and actually communicate with the person I'm listening to, what the fuck am I listening to? I'm trying to ease up on the cursing. Let me try to ease up on it. But I feel like anybody would look at it like that. Unless you just coming across the channel for the first time, you're trying to understand what they about. But some people know people, whatever the case, um, know them for some time or whatever, through word of mouth, maybe they see them around. But I ain't about to sit here and listen to a person for like a half hour, knowing. They be knowing like even though that person might look at their ass like an enemy, but they sitting there and they listening. I ain't doing that. If I can't come in your chat and at least say what's up, why the fuck am I listening to you? That's weird to me. People be sitting on here listening to whole ops and shit. Well, I ain't gonna say ops because it's the internet. But brother Keith, what's going on, man? I almost didn't even see the comment. I feel like an old nigga coming on here using all this technology, bro. What up, man? Appreciate you. You already know. You already know. I just, I was just feeling it. Felt like I just wanted to jump up here for a little minute, talk a little bit of my shit or whatever. I only jump up here maybe once in a blue. You know what I'm saying? But damn, we was rooting for him, man. We was rooting for him. Oh shit. Let me get it together here. We was rooting for him, man. I'm talking about old boy who got arrested the other day because he had left his, I think it was like three kids. He left at the West Side. Good, bro. I'm just getting off tired, definitely ready for the weekend. I hear that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Um, Speaking of work, speaking of getting off of work and all that, other day, I'm sure everybody heard about this for the most part. Old boy ends up getting arrested behind, like leaving his kids at the McDonald's. We was rooting for him, man. We was rooting for him, especially because of the fact that this was a brother. You know what I mean? And we know how the law can be against brothers, black men who trying to like do the right thing and shit, who trying to actually hold it down, who trying to actually take care of the kid. To the to the ones that's actually out here trying to take care of their kids and shit. That's what it was looking like. That's what it was looking like. You know what I mean? Because it sounded like a relatable situation. It sounded like that's something that could happen. He tells them, I left them there so I could go to this job interview, right? And even though it was something that didn't really seem right about it, because I'm like, well, where they mama at? Why they couldn't be left with their mama? Come find out the mama came and got the kids, So I should have known better. I should have known. Oh, for real? I thought I'm some surprised. I thought more people would have been. I mean, I seen other people talking about it, but like it's only right for me to speak on it because I was one of the people who was rooting for the man. You know what I'm saying? I did that video because I was upset about it. You know what I mean? Like people set up a GoFundMe and everything behind this dude. People felt bad, bro. So For anybody that might be like just now catching up or catch this on the watch back, the dude who left his what? Yeah, three kids, 6, 10, and there was another age. He left him at the McDonald's. He didn't have nowhere to drop him off or to bring him, and he said he had a job interview to go to. That sounds like something that could actually happen. It's a rough world out here. Everybody don't got babysitters. Everybody don't got family members that's gonna watch their kids and things like that. We know ain't nobody supposed to be leaving their damn kids at no McDonald's. We know that. Ain't nobody supposed to be doing that. That's basically negligence. You know what I mean? And there's a couple other words you could use. But the damn people at the restaurant, what they do? They call the laws, of course. Boom. They come, he tell them the story, whatever, end up locking him up or whatever the case is. People was kind of like outraged over that. Because it was like, even though we know, yeah, he shouldn't have left them there. But it's like y'all see a black man trying to do something right. Why would y'all, if y'all wanted to, y'all could have turned the other cheek. Y'all could have if y'all wanted to. You know what I mean? That's how people was looking at it. When it comes to these cops and these prosecutors and these judges, there's plenty of situations where they'll turn the other cheek if they choose to. And you know what it be dependent on sometimes. I know some people like that racism and all that other shit ain't real, but cut that shit out. That shit's still real. You know what I mean? Sometimes it does come down to that. And I was one of the people who felt like that was one of the reasons they really locked him up. You know what I mean? But in the end result, it come back that homie wasn't really telling the truth like that. He wasn't really telling the truth like that. I think the little girl, I think it was one of the kids was a little girl, blew his ass up. He was like, no, he do that all the time. And the people in the restaurant, they ended up saying that they saw him, I think, either come in the restaurant twice, more than once or whatever. And I think altogether, he had left the kids in there a total of like 4 hours, man. I think for like 4 hours, they said he had left them damn kids up in there. That's crazy. So everybody was outraged again because everybody had set up a GoFundMe. There was some of these big content creators, bro. They was sharing out the link. They had made a good couple of dollars too. They had made a good couple of damn dollars, man. I forgot it was a couple of thousand. I want to say I heard like 6,000 or something like that, right? But some people couldn't wait to have something negative to say. Some people was like, I knew it. I just knew it. He didn't look like somebody who was trying to go to work. You know what I mean? That was another black person. What kind of shit is that to say about another black man? You know what I mean? Even though when you look at the picture, I mean, do with the picture what you will, but you try to give your people the benefit of the doubt, your other brothers and sisters, because they talk enough about us as it is. So I don't want to be another black man shitting on another black man. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna catch me doing it. If he wrong, he wrong. All right. But I ain't gonna sit here and just, but the people who donated the damn money, they got a right to be mad. That's the first thing that came out their mouth. Oh, how I get my money back? Oh, word, he was lying. How I get my money back? You know? Like they had to fill out forms and all that. It's a shame. It's a shame because here it is. People was really rooting. It's like we basically wanted it to be true. You know. Of course, you still had people who was like, "Listen, I don't care what y'all talking about. He shouldn't have left him there, even though he's wrong." The little girl done blew his ass up. Even though he's wrong in this case, you're gonna always have people who don't know how to put themselves in folks' shoes. People who act like they ain't never been through a situation, act like they ain't never been through shit before. You know what I'm saying? People who act like they ain't never been through nothing in life, they'd be so quick to point the finger at somebody and criticize somebody for the decision that they made or whatever. Like, even if you ain't been through that particular situation, you've been through something. I'm sure you've been through something in your life. People don't think about that. I can't stand motherfuckers like that. That's why I be cursing so much up here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the shit people be doing. Like, I just can't stand that criticism shit. You know what I'm saying? When I speak on situations, I try to speak on it from a different perspective. I look at it like this: if I ain't got nothing good to say about what already happened, the fact is the brother lied. Okay, yeah. Get your money back, leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's a shame because it's like, and anything could have happened to those kids. So no, we don't condone that. But yeah, people kind of like wanted that to be true, you know, because we ain't gonna act like, and any like if there was another situation to take place like that, I don't care what nobody say. I still feel like the laws would have done things the same way just because of the fact that it was a black man. I do, not all the time, no, you know. Understand something. I come from a small city where like it's still real. Like these establishments and shit we go to, like that racism classes, whatever word you want to use, that shit is real. You know what I mean? But it's the norm. You understand? I just get mad when people try to act like that shit ain't real. That shit real, man. We live in different places. Some people don't experience it or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's still out there, man. But it's bad when people do things like that and make up lies and shit like that because it's gonna make it harder for the next person. Because when you have situations where people are like, okay, maybe we can help this person out, well, let's start up a GoFundMe or whatever the case. The first thing people are saying is, nope, they might be lying. You know what I'm saying? I ain't giving no money to this fool. They might be lying and shit. Find out if they ass lying. But people was all on board for this, and it's a shame that it really turned out that he was lying like that. You know what I mean? Oh, for sure, for sure. I dropped the link. I got you, bro. I got you. Let me see if I remember how to do this. Like I said, I feel like an old head for real, man. Give me a second. Let me get it right. Let me get it right. Oh man. Okay, I believe that's how I do it. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Let me know if you see that down there, bro. Damn shame. Yeah, I gotta figure out the mechanics and all that over again when I get up on here. Ain't that a bitch? Yeah, but I still want to say shout out to the brothers who actually be out here. Like that's like I said in the video I did, right? We not like they're not like they're not an extinct species, you know. Black fathers who actually out here holding it down. I don't know nothing about having no kids. You know what I mean? I don't envy nobody because I see the shit you got to go through with the person that you lay down with. I don't envy that shit. Hell no. That right there is enough to make you be careful about who you dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I dropped that link right. Mm-mm. Oh yeah, I did. I did. For real, man. Shit. But you know what? You know what I learned this past year? Like I put up a post the other day, right? And I definitely want to say this too. When I put up these posts I be putting up, sometimes people might think I'm like venting from a situation that like just happened at that moment that I put the post up. Nah, that ain't it. All right, hold on. Let me see. Yo,
Yup. What's going on, good brother?
Brother West, what's going on with you? How you, man?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. Tired of the mud, man. Just got off, ready for the weekend. I'm ready to take it easy, man. Hopefully my headset's coming in good, man.
I can hear you perfectly. I can hear you perfectly. I'm surprised because I usually end up hearing static and all of that stuff, man.
Yeah, or I'll be a little muffled and everything because my headset. And I went and bought a better headset that way I can, record stuff and you know what I mean.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's. Other than that, man, how you been, man? It's been a minute since we actually got together and talked and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, because you know me, anybody know, like I don't really do the live thing too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Hmm.
all just be doing my little uploads or whatever. Like I'm not one of those people who I could just cut on the live at any minute. Like, some people
Right.
they could be driving, they could be eating, they could be doing whatever. They could just cut it on right there.
Mhm.
I gotta be in a certain state of mind to even talk in front of like,
Right.
more
Mhm.
than like 5 or 10 people or whatever the case. I gotta be really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? I might not really be in the mood for that. I gotta really have something to say. When I get up here, it's because I'm really about to talk some shit about some things. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel, I, I feel that. Believe me, that's what's. I don't want to say that's what's taking me so long to do stuff because I already did one. It's funny because I was actually gonna. The second little session I was gonna put together was kind of like speaking about myself.
Mm-hmm.
But the crazy thing was the audio. It's like it didn't record it right or whatever it may be, and I'm like, God damn. And I was starting to kind of go down in my childhood about an experience I had going into church. You know what I mean? Because when I was younger, that was my grandmother's church.
Right.
And not to change the subject or whatever, because we were
I
talking
agree.
about dude. But yeah, man. So that situation happened with what's his name, Marvin Sapp or whatever, that preacher that held up the
Mm-hmm.
church.
Right. Right.
I I experienced that when I was younger at my grandmother's church. This was in the '90s. I was actually, I think I was either 9 or 10, and I was getting baptized. And this was in the summertime. It was super hot in the church. You know what I mean? And he held up the doors. He told the ushers to hold the doors, like nobody wouldn't leave or nothing. You know what I mean? And as a kid, I was always wondering, like, why did that happen? My grandmother, she loved church so much she wouldn't even speak about it. And my mother was like, "Oh, that's bullshit." so, so
Damn.
I had my experience, and it's funny because when I was gonna upload that and put that out there, that's when this story came out, and it went everywhere. They were like, "Yeah, these preachers are holding people hostage." I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
damn. And I was just getting ready to put a little session out there of my experience or something like that, which I'm still going to do. Don't get me wrong.
Yo,
It's just
definitely.
having the time to
Definitely
do it.
speak on that. It sounds interesting. Definitely.
Oh man, yeah. It's just having the time to do it, man. It's been raining like crazy. I heard lately, so it's been a trip, man. But
But
yeah, this story. Look ahead, bro. I'm interrupt you. Go ahead.
nah, go ahead, bro. Let me grab some. Give me 5 seconds, bro. Go ahead. Keep talking because there might be some people listening. Go ahead. I'll be right back.
All right, cool, cool. Peace to the chat. What's going on, everybody? Grand Rising, daylight. You know what I mean? Have a great weekend too, if that's the case. But yeah, man, the story that I heard about this dude and his children, how he left his kids, like not left them. But when I heard that story, I was like, damn, you know what I mean? That had me thinking, like, and I didn't hear it nowhere else but here. When Realist broke that story, I was just like, damn, you know what I mean? So it's a crazy world we live in, man. That's why it's always better to just know yourself and know who you're around at all times. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very careful with how you move. And it definitely makes sense to think. You know what I mean? Get that critical thinking going, man, because you never know out here in this world, man, how crazy it can be. Man,
All right, I'm back. I'm back. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
cool. Oh, no doubt, bro. Hey, it's been a minute since we chop it up, man. We usually bump into each other in some chat rooms and whatnot.
Yeah, man. Like I say, for me, it'd be the upload thing.
Mm,
Like the chats you might run into me in, and be about it for the most part. Like I really like, step back from a lot of chats and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
that part, yeah, yeah. No, I
I, I
feel
just
that.
I just operate different on the app now. You know what I'm saying? And it don't even be like
Uh,
personal towards nobody, nothing like that. I just
mhm.
I've been on here for a
Yeah.
long time, so
So you know how it operates. I ain't been on it as long as you have, but yeah, it just it just if it ain't right, man, I can't rock with it. You know what I mean? I can't do it.
Yeah, man. Like there ain't no such thing as being on here and seeing everything gonna be all, squeaky clean. Like, I get that.
No.
And I ain't even passing no judgment on nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I done had, my little like not I don't wanna even say situations. Like
Hmm.
disagreements and things like that, confusions and things like that with
Right
people,
on.
with people who,
Mhm.
I was cool with and all of this shit before, whatever the case. But I mean, you
Right.
just, when you grown, everybody had a different perspective on things, and you just, I don't know, man. It's just, you
No, I
look at
feel you.
things different sometimes. You start looking at things different than how you always did. And it's like,
Hmm.
my thing is to not make yourself so accessible because people
Hmm.
don't appreciate your presence. That might come off like as some arrogant type of shit, but that's not how I,
Hmm.
what I'm saying. That's really
Hmm.
not how I mean it. I'm saying,
Hmm.
like, I spoke on it before. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was on
Hmm.
here before, and I told people about how I didn't like how some people will have the nerve to, like, point the finger, and they'll like make a big deal out of, like, who, like, shows them love, or continues to show them that support word that get thrown around. My whole point,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
only
Hmm.
point with that, it ain't had nothing to do with this app, and it had nothing to do with likes and shit like that. It's just like reciprocation is a big thing. I don't care whether it's a relationship or a friendship, whatever the case. That shit got to be
Right.
50-50. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
everybody on here got a goal. Everybody on here trying to grind, or whatever the case is. So if you find
Yeah.
yourself on here supporting people for so long, and you turn around one day and you look like, wait a minute, it ain't never been the same way when it was time for me to, you know what I mean? So you just look at certain things like that weird. So when people actually call themselves feeling a way towards me because they seen that I slowed up, and it was kind of like the
Mhm.
nerve. It's really the nerve, yo. And I kind of see
Yeah.
how when shit like that happen, I'd be like, I see how people really be getting into the whole back and forth thing on here, because what
Mhm.
happens is people will, like, put out a narrative. People will speak about a person in a certain light to the next person, and then that person
Mhm.
get a
Yep.
whiff of it. And then what it is like this, like, okay, they made that public of their feelings, and they're kind of like muddying this person's name. So now I got to speak my shit. I got to get up here and I got to clear the air. And then they feel
Right.
like they
Right.
got to say something back. That's how,
Mhm.
stupid shit. But I ain't never trying to get
Right.
shit like that, though. You know what I mean?
No, and I feel you. I feel you. That's the problem. See, again, even with me, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I slowed down hanging around the conscious community like that. You know what I mean? All the debates and arguments. And my thing has always been, look, we can have our back and forth, but we can agree to disagree respectfully without, what I mean, like getting all egotistical about it and making it out of some kind of gang warfare type shit. So
Mm-hmm.
I slowed down on a lot of that, man. I'm like, look, I'm better off on my own going solo without, being up here and jumping on everybody's panel just because me and such and so is cool. I'm gonna jump on his panel and it's gonna be all good. You know what I mean? Like I can't do that because now he got beef for so and so. Now I'm automatically included with the beef, even though I got nothing to do
Mm-hmm.
with the shit. And you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? We done been through the hurdles before where we had people that we actually had the utmost respect for have their disagreements, and then
Mm-hmm.
other people come out of the bushes and they got us caught up in the whirlwind and it's like what the so
Get
that's
you
why
caught up
I
in
don't
quickness.
mm,
Get you caught up in quickness. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue, brother.
no, do it, brother. You're good. I'm just saying I totally agree with you, man. We done been through that craziness, man.
That shit
That's
was,
why I'm like, man, I back off this, man. Like, mm,
and that's like I said, for being on here for as long as I've been on here, that
mm-hmm.
type of thing, it ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
There ain't never gonna be everybody getting along, nothing like that. And you can't
Right,
make people get along either. You know what I'm saying? Um,
right on,
just as
right
long as
on.
those people respect the fact that, listen, these people, I can't expect them to go and choose sides, whatever the case. As long as somebody respect that, I can respect whatever it is they got going on. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Key Mosh,
exactly.
appreciate you. Appreciate you.
That's Keymosh.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey, Keymosh, salute to you. I can't see the chat. Let me see here.
yeah. Seeing that. Yeah, I was just saying earlier. I think yesterday. Say,
Not
yo, I
even
ain't
popping
seen
up,
Key
man.
March in a minute.
Oh, there she goes. What's going on, Keymosh?
Yeah, I know you've been gone for a minute, Key March. I kind of miss your music lives. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, for real, for real. I definitely miss all that. But hey, you gotta get away from this app from time to time, and live in the
That's a
real
fact.
world and do some real stuff. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man.
We'll
Hell
be
yeah.
we'll be here though. We'll be here, Keymosh. We ain't going nowhere. We looking forward to them sessions again whenever you put them up. Definitely looking forward
Yeah,
to it.
man. For real. All right, so anybody that's like subscribed to me or pays any attention to me, right?
Hmm.
Everybody knows that I put up like sometimes I make up my own homemade memes, like my own messages that I post on my wall, whatever. And the thing
Right.
I want to say about those posts I be putting up, I don't ever want people to think that when I put these things up, it's not because like something might have happened in the moment or whatever the case. But I'm the type of person like if you on social media, you come across like memes and things like that, you can
Hmm.
relate to them. So when I'm
Right.
putting something up, I'm putting it up as I think about it because I can relate to it. You know what I mean? Because when like I said,
Definitely. Yeah.
when
Hmm.
besides me doing my little uploads or whatever, when I'm actually on here like going live and shit, or even when I'm on, using this community wall, whatever they call it, I try to
Right.
put up some real shit, put up some shit that's relatable. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. That's what I do with my wall, man. I try to see mostly what I like to do is I like to think. You know what I mean? So I try to
Mhm.
encourage others to do the same thing, to think about different things, even if it's some shit that you never even thought of before, like to compare this character with this character or this quote with that quote. It's always something different because you can get on social media and you'll hear the same arguments again, the same conversations, the same
Mhm.
debates, the same petty beef. You know what I'm saying? But it's refreshing to get something different, even if it's in a little message that requires you to stop and read and think. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I
So you
say all the
you posting
time.
some powerful stuff, man.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Like
No doubt.
the one thing I want people to walk away with whenever I get off live or whatever, just know when I was speaking on it and it was coming from a genuine place. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, the other day,
Hmm.
I put up this post that said, I'm gonna read it verbatim too. It said,
Hmm.
I came to understand not to expect the same level of loyalty, respect, and reciprocation. There's always going to be a different purpose, interaction,
Hmm.
and understanding with every individual we encounter. When you
That's
label,
right.
when you labeled someone, just remember there was a reason you labeled them. So you also got to remember to treat them according to the label that you gave them. So I'm
Hmm.
guessing the people that liked that post understood what that post meant. It
Oh
only
yeah,
meant one thing. It only meant one thing. I
exactly.
think what my issue was for like the past year, just in real life in general, you got to
Hmm.
remember to deal with people. You can't deal with everybody the same way. If that person is a snake, you got
Hmm.
to believe that they're a snake. Deal with them like they're a snake. Don't expect them to
Facts.
be anything else. Look at them exactly for what they are. And it goes into what I
Hmm.
be telling people all the time. You got to move accordingly. You understand? It's that simple.
Hmm.
It's
That
nothing.
part.
It's no
Yeah.
less or no more. It's exactly what it is. If
Yeah.
that's your friend, okay, treat him like your friend. If that's your associate, treat him like your associate. But don't get the
That's
two
right.
confused though, because there's definitely a difference. There's when you got a
Hmm.
friend, there's some loyalty there. An associate, it might be business. They don't have to have loyalty to you. We might expect somebody to have, some type of courtesy towards us when it's like maybe they didn't give it because they felt like it wasn't necessary. Because I'm a loyal ass motherfucker. When I feel like I rock with you, I rock with you. But I have made
No
that
doubt.
mistake. I have made that mistake in, being reciprocal and maybe if I didn't get it back a certain way, then I felt away. So I felt like,
Hmm.
okay, I can't blame them. I can't blame this person for that. I gotta blame myself because I should have known better. Because at the end of the day, I say this all the time too. We are on the
Hmm.
app and we didn't grow up with these people. We all built our rapport from being on
Hmm.
here. So you just have to remember that you didn't come up with these people, so you don't really know them as much. I know people say some people believe you can make friends and things like that on here, and some people feel like it ain't really it. I got a story for both sides. I know what it's like to have people that you really
Hmm.
fuck with, and to have enemies. And I know how I feel to fall out with people that you fuck with. And I don't
Oh
think I
man,
know one person on here who ain't been through some shit on here. I don't think I know one.
yeah, that's real. No, you real, brother. You cooking. You know what I'm saying? I told you everything that you're spitting right now, brother. I'm 100% to the science with it. Like that's truth. That's truth. You know what I mean? This app can be crazy, but it shouldn't be that way. You know what I'm saying? It's like it don't take much for something like social media to be a place where you can come together, network, congregate. But they turn this into the streets. So the same craziness you see outside your front door is the same craziness you see going on into a digital app that's in your hand. Like it's crazy, man.
Mhm. except nobody except nobody gets touched like that, and that's the main reason why people do what they do, because there's no
Hmm.
consequence. I mean, what you going the only
Right.
thing you can do, if anything, is maybe report something they put up. They might take it down, and then they might just be able to get that shit put back up there, so that ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
They
No,
do
not
for
really.
as long as I've been on here, they always called this the YouTube streets. And I understood it, but I ain't really get it. I'm like, y'all really acting like, so y'all banging on the app, but ain't nobody getting hurt. Well,
Yep.
honestly, I don't wish nothing on nobody, Keith, but I always felt that if more
Mhm.
people got their ass whipped over the shit that happened on here, there would be less other shit that happened on here. That's how I always felt. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, that's real talk. Mike, hey, look, I think I put a quote about Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? The internet's got everybody all bold until they get hit in the mouth. You know what I mean? So that's real. Oh yeah, people. That's what emboldens people because they know there's no repercussions behind this. There's no discipline behind these negative actions. So they feel emboldened to keep doing it and being rude and disrespectful. Like, and then an incident happens where somebody ends up going to somebody's city or state or meeting up with somebody, because I've seen that happen too. You know what I mean? With the conscious community. They get mad because his information seems to be more resourceful than his information. So now they put pictures of their family up and their kids up. I'm like, damn. And then they wonder why we look the way we look as a people. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? It's one thing that we're out physically doing this shit, but mentally we're all on this app using our minds and communicating based on our voice and or we're not physically like shaking hands and touching personally. So that says a lot about where most of our minds are at. So nah, man, I don't. Mm-mm. That's why I only congregate to only a certain few, man. I try not to go all over the place unless I'm in the chat, just listening and observing and getting a feel for what's going on.
For sure, for sure. And everybody got their own everybody got their own purpose for why they on here. So it's
No
like
doubt.
at
Hmm.
the same time, you try not to judge, but I don't even call it judging. I just have a straight up opinion of it. It should be looking stupid, like when people are chasing like the money aspect of it, if they
Hmm.
can't with them doing all of that extra shit, like I kind of liken that to who Charleston White is, right? The old dude
Oh
who
yeah, 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 yeah. I'm familiar
like
with him.
somebody like him, like only doing the shit that he does because he knows there's a benefit to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
financial gain from it, so he can
yeah.
come on here and he can play whether he playing a character or not. I believe that's really him doing it. But that's just I don't know, man. It's like selling your soul. Like if I can't come on here and be myself, I don't even want to be on
Mhm,
here. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I think about
mhm,
how when people watch my shit back, I don't
mhm.
care if they like what I was saying, if they thought it was boring or whatever the case, but that was realist, really, really being realist. Like it wasn't no fake shit going on with that.
You
Everything that
were
man
being
said out
genuine,
his
man.
mouth, I try to say shit that I feel like people can
Mhm.
relate to or whatever the case, but to put on a whole facade just for, like a couple of dollars, that's a little too much right there.
Yeah. So you got to be genuine. That's why I have so much respect for you because you're genuine. You know what I mean? And it ain't just you, it's Keymosh and so many other ones out there. Just be yourself, be genuine. You don't have to put up a front. You know what I
Right.
mean? especially to people that's constantly coming there and talking to you and don't mind getting on your panels or coming to your chat and saying hello, hitting a like. These things are not a problem. It's just that communication. You know what I mean? That's what we come together to do. While others are looking for entertainment, because again, in their own personal life, they don't like who they are. So they get on social media and they put on a facade and they create this whole new character that represents them. At least they want it to represent them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So no, I feel you about the selling your soul thing. People put on a performance, and all this is a distraction to keep you from focusing on what your real issues are. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man.
So
And
it's a
like,
distraction, and I must say, currency is attention is definitely the new currency, dude.
oh
It ain't
hell,
even about the money; it's about the attention. If you can get attention, you can easily get the money. Then hit the cash app, get donations. You
no.
know what I mean?
That's
You
simple,
get that
bro.
going.
That damn
Hmm.
simple. Like, as a matter of
That's
fact,
simple.
I was listening to somebody last night who was saying some real shit. And like, it ain't got nothing to do with checking nobody pockets and nothing, but this person was saying something that I always felt like when people see the shit that goes on, like, on here, when they see like either a Charleston White or let's say
Hmm.
a Hassan Campbell, for example, people like them, people try to follow in their footsteps because they see that they get into the bag. It's an easy bag.
Oh my God.
Nobody has to bring creativity to the table if they can just
Mm-mm.
copy the blueprint they see that these lazy motherfuckers put down. I got to get up here
Yeah.
and cross a line. I call them habitual line crossers. As long as they
Oh
do
yeah.
that, they gonna get to the bag, and that's enough for them. They don't care nothing about. Well, what if my kid or my grandmama got on here and seen me acting like this one day? They don't be thinking nothing about that, bro.
No, hell no, man. Mm-mm. They don't, because it's all about entertainment. It's all about fitting in. You know what I mean? And wanting to be a part of something. Me, I guess I'm a weirdo because I chose to be to myself more comfortable with being an introvert. You know what I'm saying? Besides my daughters and my son, of course. Outside of that, dude, I'm cool with rocking by myself. You know what I mean? I don't need to identify and worry about titles, labels. I'm good. I'm me. And that's all that needs to be. You know what I mean? But that's just how I rock. Other people need that validation.
Yeah, that shit
So
is
it's
sad, man. One,
crazy, man.
like I mean, some people would say that maybe it's human nature to want to have validation to an extent. I don't know. Maybe it depends on
Yeah,
who asks. But I
that.
want it
Yeah,
if I want
that's what I'm
if
thinking.
I'm if there's something I want that I want from the people I respect the most and the people that actually respect me. I don't care to have it from people that are that are complete strangers who only watching me, you know, to to get off on me making a damn fool out of my damn self. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, looking for some drama that they can, throw at you later on. Well, remember you said this, maybe you did that. I feel you on that.
For
I
real.
feel you on that.
But when I was but people they put the battery in the back though. Like that's what I was getting to
Mm,
say a little while ago. Because when I'm listening to
okay.
this person speak last night, they said it perfectly. They're like, yo, when people be on here like people can do whatever they want to do. It's their money, whatever the case. But
Absolutely,
people
absolutely.
they won't like like show that same financial support to somebody like a you or me or other people who might maybe be speaking like a positive message, whatever the case. Not no bullshit. But the people who be on here doing what they do, and sometimes it be the people complaining about the shit they see on here, but they be the first one to run and get that person a cash app for the bullshit they just did. Shit like that. It ain't about
Yeah,
body pockets and nothing
yeah,
like that. But that
yeah.
right there, that's a form of putting the battery in their back. You just gave them a reward for their bullshit, so they're gonna keep doing it.
No,
So
you're right. You're right.
who's
You're
worse,
right.
the content creator or the people who watching these people? Who worse? And make you gotta ask that question.
Oh, you definitely. Even though I can't flat out say 100%, but you gotta look at the people who follow this foolishness. Just like me again, the conscious community. You know what I mean? I came on
Mhm.
this app not just to promote my daughters because they got their own little channel and they're killing it with their little animations and cartoons and their little music clips. So that's
Dope.
really what I came on to do, to kind of like, follow their work and stuff. And then I started doing my own thing. So now I'm looking for different people who may be studying the things that I'm studying and looking up different books and different talking points and even catching up with some adults and having some, after night, after dark type conversations. You know what I mean? Something that's, that's good, So I find myself a lot of times in these areas where a lot of these debates happen, a lot of confusion happens, and here comes ego. Not saying that that's a bad thing. It can be uncontrolled ego is a bad thing. You got to know how to control that. But
For
these
real.
cats, they need validation. They need a crowd. They need a following. Somebody got to be the next Umar Johnson. You know what I mean? Somebody got to be the next what? Like you said, Hassan Campbell, and all these whatever. Like they need validation. So it's about who can say the biggest word, who can scream the loudest, and a lot of stuff that I listen to, I don't mind. My daughters and my son listening to as well. You know what I mean? Because I can explain, I can talk, I can teach them something. But when they're up there hollering and doing all this craziness, I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But you're
Brother
right,
Bro,
man. It's
still, man,
got to be the
appreciate
audience. Got to be the audience, man. That feeds into the content creator and causes the content creator to go to the route where they're putting out content because that's what they want. They want to draw a crowd.
it. Yeah,
You know
man.
what I'm saying? So they'll do whatever they got to do. But I respect people like yourself, Realist. You come up here, you say what you say. You know what I mean? And I'm not quite where you're at, but I'm getting there, brother. It's going to be a little, a little bit for me, but I'm slowly but surely getting it. I'm slow walking this shit.
Shit, let me tell you something. I ain't really too much further than you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still like when I be like me doing the content that I do, like I still feel
Hmm.
like sometimes I feel like I just got on here all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm taking it day by day. Like, I had my moments where I don't care to do the content thing, but I was just like, I didn't like got all these damn subs and shit. So why not just do something with the channel? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
I just like to
right.
talk my shit a lot of the times. But I'm a upload person. The lives I don't like I say I gotta be in the real kind of mood to, you know, do the live thing or whatever. Yo, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Give me 5 seconds, bro.
Oh, take your time, brother. We rocking. Me and you. What? We rocking. Ain't no thing at all. But like I said, I definitely appreciate it when there's good content creators who actually have something to say and a message. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I'm gonna get to that point where I'm gonna start doing my videos. Like I said earlier, I was gonna actually do a video about that situation that happened at that church because even I experienced something like that at my young age. You know what I'm saying? And I was going to speak about that, but I just couldn't get the timing right. Plus, I had to hurry up and get to work and stuff. So, like, work be cutting in a lot. You know what I'm saying? Then trying to spend some time with my daughters and talk with them on the phone and stuff. So, life be life, man. And then later on, that story broke about what's his name, Marvin Sapp or whatever. What he did, held the church hostage, like not letting nobody leave. When I heard that, I was like, damn. So something was telling me, you know what I mean? Maybe I should have just kept going with that, or But I'm gonna go ahead and redo that somewhere along the line. But that's why it's just so important, man, to know yourself and to appreciate who you are first. Because if you don't know who you are and you don't have any respect for yourself, you're gonna find yourself going with the crowd, going somewhere where you feel validated, where you feel welcome and validated, and that's a trap in itself. So just like my brother Realist said, man, you got to move accordingly. And that's some of the realest shit I've heard. Are you back,
Yeah.
bruh?
Yeah, I'm back, bro. Appreciate you
Uh,
holding it down for me.
Oh, no doubt, man, no doubt. It's me and you. We rocking. It's been a minute, man, since I've been up on the panel, man. I ain't lying.
Yeah, man. Like I say, there's plenty of times where I was like, maybe I'll fire up one of these joints. But like I say, man, like I don't know.
Hmm.
I just don't be feeling it. Like even though I'm on social media, I'm really not a social media person like that. I gotta
Hmm.
have something to say. You know what I mean? Like I used to be on here just to interact with people, to kick it,
Hmm.
chill with folks. And I ain't that's not that went out the door. Like if
Yeah.
I'm not on here for me, if I'm not on here to get
Hmm.
something off my chest or to speak, just to
Hmm.
talk my talk, then I don't really be bothered with it like that. Even me doing the upload
Yeah.
thing, like I do my little reaction thing. People know me for the battle rap thing, but I switched it up and I started doing like the reaction thing. You know what I mean? Just because you see a
Mhm.
lot of crazy shit that they make the world makes it easy because you see a lot of crazy shit on the daily. So I'm like, I could do that easily right there. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you get on the internet or anytime you look on TV, you will always see some wild shit going on in the world that make you want to just speak on it real quick. So
No doubt. And you know what, realist, to be real with you, I think it was that. No, I can't even say I think. I know for a solid fact. It was the content of you reacting to things is what caught my attention more than the battle rap thing. Because I
mm,
mean, I'm not really up to date on a lot of what rappers are doing nowadays. I kind of lost interest in some of. Bro,
right,
I even said this on Key Marshall's Live. Bro, I'm at the point now where I rather listen to instrumental music. I don't even like listening to rappers' lyrics. I don't even like hearing lyrics no more. That's you done heard the
right.
same thing over and over again. But that's besides the point. But I don't be knowing what a lot of these rappers be doing nowadays. But like that again, going back to that video about you talking about the brother that left with his kids, like his kids, he left them behind. When I heard
Yeah,
that, man, I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Damn,
yeah,
and they
man.
on that brother. Like at least the man was trying to go and get a job and take care of his family. Like, damn,
That's
brother can't.
That's what it was
Ah,
looking like. That's what it was looking like until it came back that he wasn't really keeping it all the way real. I think they say that one of the kids ended up blowing him up. Like he do that all the time. So it's like, okay, now we dealing with this
wow.
dude who's known for leaving his kids and taking off and shit like
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm
Now see
saying?
that's Now,
So
see, that's a different level there because I didn't know that. I just only knew the part about how they were jumping on him for
right.
leaving his kids while he go out. Now, I didn't know that this was a routine that he did. Now, that's a little different. Not saying
Yeah.
that he's wrong, but that makes things a little bit more, clearer now. Like, yeah, you don't want to be doing that. Like, not on a consistent
So
basis like
other
that.
questions started popping up. So it's like, so he was or he
Damn.
wasn't looking for the job and he wasn't going to the job interview. Most likely
See,
he probably wasn't. Me, like when it come down to another black man, another black man especially, I want to get the benefit of the doubt. How some people so quick to point the finger and say, "Oh, please, that motherfucker
mm-hmm.
ain't looking for no job." You got
Yeah,
negative people who be
yeah.
waiting to say shit like that.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I
in your
mean?
heart you want to. In your heart you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But looking at the way things are, you can't help but kind of think a little critical and go, you know what, I can't put too much on that because it might not be exactly what I'm
Mhm.
hoping it to be. You know what I mean? Then you find yourself getting hurt and set back. Like now, you said that this is something he constantly did. In my mind, I'm like, damn, because I had somebody come at me one day like,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, yeah, Father's Day, I'm out with my daughters and my son, and we're doing what we're doing. And this lady just looked over, father. I'm looking at her, I was like, what? And I got my kids now. And I'm like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Father's Day. I got my daughters. I'm taking them to this little, it's like a little water park out here in Pittsburgh. And I took them to the little not fountain, to the fountain. And they're playing around, running, doing what they're doing in the water, and a little water spraying up. And they're doing what they're doing, getting them ice
Right.
cream and hanging out. This lady just looked over. Oh, he's like he's some kind of father or something. And da,
Damn.
da, da, da. And I'm like, damn. And this is a black lady now,
Mm.
And I'm not the type to say, black women do this and black men do that. As far as I see it, I don't see either one doing anything spectacular to criticize the other, you
Right,
know.
right.
But in my mind, I'm like, damn, lady, you don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know the kind of relationship I have with my kids. You don't even know what kind of relationship I have with my kid's mother. You know what I'm saying? We could be at a very cool standpoint with
Definitely.
each other or relationship. You don't know. You just happen to see me with my kids, so now you're automatically thinking, okay, yeah, so this one here, I think he this or he, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-mm-mm.
so I've been gave up, man, but just trying to deal with people and worry about what people think about me, I really don't give a damn. I'm just saying, bro.
You know what they say? They criticize Jesus Christ himself, so that right there, ain't nobody exempt.
Yeah, yeah,
Ain't
yeah,
nobody
that's
exempt.
true.
I mean,
Yeah,
like if we focused on what people
yeah.
had to say about us, we probably wouldn't even leave the damn house if we was so focused on people. Every time we go out, there's always gonna be somebody who don't agree or disagree with something that we did. Yeah, there's people that
Well,
disagree with what you got on, what you go out the house wearing and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
trust me, I'm always in black, bro. So I'm always catching it. They're like, "Oh yeah, he always in that black." I'm like, "Oh, that's the color I choose to wear. That's my color." Yeah, but you always in black. Like, you, what, you gothic? I'm like, maybe. What, you a devil worshiper? Maybe. What
yeah,
is it to you? It
that's your
ain't none of
damn
your business.
business. That's your damn
So
business
it's
for real, man.
yeah.
You
But
know, I
no, man, you be wanting to give brothers and sisters a benefit of the doubt in your heart.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They're your people. They're a part of you. You know what I'm saying? You're a part of them. So you want to give your brothers and sisters a benefit of the doubt. But sometimes, man, putting too much on that benefit can sometimes come back on you, man, and you be like, damn, I put too much interest in this brother, only for this brother to turn around and let me down. Crazy shit, man.
yeah, man. Especially the thing about that situation with the father, because people were so like uh felt so connected to that situation that they actually
Mhm.
went and had a whole GoFundMe for this man. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about no
Yeah,
little bit of money. It wasn't just no couple of dollars, man. Everybody, I think even celebrities was even donating. Like people was, you know what I mean? Like, yo, let's ride it out for this brother, man. This dude was trying to take care of his damn kids. Like, you know what I
and
mean?
that's
So it
and that's
sucked
good.
when it
It's good to
when it
see. I
came.
didn't mean it. I didn't mean to interrupt you, bro. I was just gonna say that's good to see because we don't get that a lot. Usually, it's the other folks. They usually get the
Right.
GoFundmes and they usually get on. So to actually see a brother or sister, for that matter, get that kind of support is good. So
Yeah.
even I was invested. I didn't donate, but I was invested in it. You know what I mean? And I didn't hear it nowhere else but here, bro. When you broke it, that's when I heard it, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So now I'm looking myself like, okay, you know.
Oh
But go
yeah.
ahead, bro. I didn't mean that, bro. I just wanted to throw that out there because it was just in my head.
Nah, you good, you good, Well, I'm glad I could, break the story for you, whatever. You never know who listening, never know where or what or whatever. But yeah, it just sucked that, it came back like that. You know what I'm saying? When you really rooting for somebody and shit. Because like I said,
Right.
people already be looking for, shit to be a certain way. When folks hear a situation like that, you can imagine how many people was already like, oh please, there's more to this story. And it ain't gotten some
Right.
people might say it's naive to like be wanting to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I
Mhm.
can't say that. It's just basically just saying you're hoping for the best with the situation. You hoping that really
Right.
is the case,
Right.
that you got your eyes open in case. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree. I agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
Like I definitely learned like this past year, a few different things. I learned that you do got to be careful giving the benefit of the doubt. I learned that you got to be
Mhm.
careful how you treat people. I learned that you got to be careful. Really, you
Mhm.
got to be careful how much respect you give people too. You know what I'm saying? Like, not
That
everybody.
part.
I hate to
Yeah.
say. I ain't gonna say I hate to say it. It is what it is, man. Like some people ain't worth giving that respect to. And I found
Real.
myself giving that respect
Yeah.
to people who
Mhm.
didn't want it. They didn't want to accept it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
find out they wasn't really, they just wasn't really even worth giving that respect to. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't they didn't
Mhm.
deserve that benefit of the doubt and shit. Like it's times where I call myself trying to be genuine, and maybe
Mhm.
trying to help somebody or whatever. I'm sitting here trying to do a good deed. I'm sitting here trying to be what they say a good person, a nice guy, right? And
Yeah.
I ain't gonna
Mhm.
lie, that especially goes for respect to, you know, any woman that might come across this, but I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes it can go into the man and woman aspect of things. Cause I found
Mhm.
myself,
Yeah.
trying to be that nice guy. You know how what's that saying they got nice guys finish last and shit. Now, first
Yeah.
off,
That's what they say. Yeah. I've
that's
heard
what
of
they
that.
be saying. For the longest time,
Mhm.
they always said that. Now, I ain't never claimed to be no victim because I ain't never that because I know I ain't perfect or whatever the case. But I have
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
situations where it's like, you really trying to be a gentleman. You trying to be that genuine person,
Mhm.
when interacting with a woman, but They done been through
Right.
so much shit themselves with other men that they looking at every nigga they come across as there's a reason you being nice. You ain't no way you this nice. This something that you want. You really just want to draw. So I know that's what you want. You know what I'm saying?
See,
And here's the
see,
fact of the matter though. Here's the fact of
yeah,
the matter.
hmm
We're wired to want to have sex with women. That's true. That's the case. But for some of
yeah,
us,
yeah.
there's more to it than that. And some women just can't get past
Mhm.
that fact, Keith.
No, you know what? I agree with you, bro. See how you said how most women automatically get that mentality or at least that thought process going where, okay, he's up to something or he wants something. Just like I said about that Father's Day when I was with my daughters and my son, and they were real little, man. You know what I mean? Running around. So this chick was thinking, oh, okay, so he's up here trying to flaunt and stuff. So he's trying to, and it's like, no, I'm just here with my kids. I'm not here to hook up with nobody or flex nothing. I'm not even here to show off stuff. Like I'm just here with my kids, you know. I even like I'll even say this. I had people ask me about the videos that I got on my channel about me and my kids. Well, why you got videos up? And then because that's videos of me and my kids. So
Right.
whenever they want to look at the videos, they can always look back at the videos. It just so happens to be that it's on a platform where everybody can look at it unless I make it private,
Hmm.
you know, which I don't care, you know what I'm saying? Because again, there is some good men out here in this world who do care about their kids. There
That's
is, you know what I mean? It just unfortunately we get wrapped up with the wrong individuals. No, we don't even get wrapped up, we get stereo.
mm,
I'll say that we get stereotyped just because you happen to see my skin tone, my hair, my hair texture, or skin complexion, or whatever it may be. You already got a title and a label printed out on me. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
dealing with most brothers and sisters, especially dealing in the conscious community, again, where I go to, where they just are. Everybody's got their own little section, and some people are studying Egypt, some are studying Africa, some are studying Greek, some are going to different, areas of study. I mean, whether it's esoteric or occult or whatever it may be, everybody has their own little thing that they're into, and it should be about bettering yourself. It ain't about worshiping an evil spirit or angels, demons. It's about discovering a better you and looking inside yourself to become a better you. Deal with the flaws and accept your negative flaws.
Hmm.
That's where it works for me. You know what I mean? But you get so caught up in that area that sometimes brothers and sisters they get so caught off and off the rails with this information that they want to go off. So now, oh yeah, every male I see, he's up to doing this, up to doing that. At the end of the day, bro, all I can say is peace and gratitude to you and give you your space. You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
fact.
It's better to not even argue. I'm not trying to convince you because think about it, realist. Me and you can convince a good sister that there's some good men out here. All it takes is one goofball to come along and undo everything me and you just
That's a fact.
tried to delay her. So it's like, why even bother? All you can do is just lead by an example and just leave a good impression.
That's a fact. You said that shit right. I wish I had a damn.
That's it,
I
man.
wish I had like a sound button I could have pressed when you said that. 'Cause that was a gem right there. I couldn't have said it better myself, bro.
Hey, what's on your channel, bro? So you know, and I know you go up. Oh man, you know what? Much respect, dude, for bringing up them VAT videos, man. Them VAT videos, the vamp hour videos. Oh man,
Yeah, yeah.
there was a session on there. I don't know if Kemos is still in it or not, but there was a session in there where me and you and I forget the other brother's name, man.
It
It's
might
been
have
so
been.
long.
It might have been my brother Dome. It might have been him.
Don't much respect to dude. I like to catch up to him too, man. It's much respect due to that brother. Hopefully he's doing well. But yeah, that was going on. And I was in the chat and I'm listening. I'm thinking, damn, I'm trying to remember how long ago did we do this? So Gmash was like, yo, that ain't y'all talking. I'm like, no, that's a replay, man.
Yeah.
We in the chat cracking up, man. But yo, much respect, dude, for uploading those, man, because like, yo, that brings back memories. Not even just the one with us. You had like so many different people on talking, man, and it was dope to kind of go through that. Like, you literally had a catalog so many different people with different talking points, but everybody came with a hell of a way of being articulate and speaking the way they speak, and just dialogue, and nobody yelling over, talking, screaming,
Right.
feuding, arguing. It was just good flow, man, and we need that. I know I need that. You know what I'm saying? I need to hear that.
Yeah, man. That's the only way I know how to do it. Keith. I tell people I don't do the panel thing a lot because, a lot of people don't have what we call panel etiquette. When they get on,
Yeah,
it should be simple. Let this person say what they got to say, then you say what you got to say. Something so simple, but grown folk they don't know how. You sometimes you forget that this app is actually like used by other grown people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you ain't got to interrupt nobody while they talk. I can't stand nobody like like getting argumentative about some shit with a topic, even if you don't disagree. Let me get my point out, get your point out. But that's why I don't hit a lot of panels and shit. A lot of people don't know how to act on these panels. But yeah, as
you're
far
right,
as
man.
the uploads that I was re-uploading, I was just doing that for like a little few extra watch hours and shit. And I think also in case people have forgot about certain lives or whatever, but it mostly was just for watch hours. I'm like, I found out how to do it, so I'm like, let me just upload these joints or whatever, get some extra watch hours, because that's basically what I'm working my way towards. Just clearing these watch hours or whatever, slowly but surely.
Hey man, I appreciate that because you definitely took me down memory lane with a lot of those. I was listening to even some of my talking points, and I noticed even I've grown. But some of my talking points, I still am there with that, but I've also developed and grown a little further with, you know what I mean, whatever I was putting out at the time. I'm still there, but I'm on another level with it. Not to sound egotistical or nothing, but the idea is to grow. That's the idea. The whole concept is to grow up and just develop your mind. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you're getting nowhere.
That's a fact. Let me go grab my damn computer charger for this laptop died. I'll be right back, Keith.
All right, brother, do your thing, brother. I'll try to see if I can hold it down. Let me look at here in the chat. Let me see who in the chat. Much respect due to everybody in the chat. Bronze Fat Power God, what's up, bro? Peace, respect to you. Keymosh, you already know. Peace and respect to you. Who else up in the chat? Everybody in the bushes, peace, respect due. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. I know out here in this city, Pittsburgh, out here, it's been raining like crazy, man. So trying to deal with that, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's all love at the end of the day, man. You know what I'm saying? When adults can get together and, communicate and talk, chop it up without, you know, uh, holding grudges and, putting our ego out there and, you know, turn everything into a competition because it shouldn't be that way. But then again, everybody has different purposes. Some of us are up here to, make money. Some of us are here to, be entertained. And some of us are here to just get together and talk to other adults, and I happen to be one of them people to get up here and talk to other adults. Because I don't deal with people like that in my personal life. I go to work. I try to not bother with my coworkers because they be talking about Trump and all that. I'm not want to hear that shit. But then I'm there the whole night. Then towards the end of the night, when I'm ready to leave and punch out, now everybody wants to hang around the punch machine and talk and oh hey Heath, hey now, look move. You know what I mean? I want to go home. Y'all saw me all night. Now y'all want to talk when it's time to leave. All right, bet get out the way. Nah. Well, much respect due to everybody in the chat, everybody that's in the chat, and even people in the bushes watching. Much respect due to you. Have a great weekend. Sit there and try to hold it down for brother Realest. Man, see if I can make me something to eat, man. Definitely been a long week. At least for me, it felt like it's been a long week, man. Glad I got this weekend going. I'm definitely gonna try to be easy this weekend.
All right, I'm back. I'm back. Appreciate you. I had to find my damn laptop charger before this shit died on me. My man.
You good, bro? Hey, man. Look, I'm just excited, man, to be up here talking with you. Like, man, I'm telling you, I was dead tired. I'm getting ready to go in my room and lay down, and I seen you went live, so I'm sitting on the bed. I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's get up here and holler at Realist if you want to drop the link. If not, it's cool. I'll just
No,
chill
no,
and listen with you.
definitely. Definitely,
But man,
definitely.
I'm excited to just be up here and talk with you, bro. You know, I mean, it's been a minute since we actually got together. Like I said earlier, it's been a minute, man, since we actually got together and did that.
Yeah, always, always, definitely always appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You always show love. You always, kept the same vibe, same respect. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate you, man.
No doubt, man. That's my energy, man. I try to give what I want in return. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a hard thing to do. If I give respect and I'm like peace and gratitude, I expect to get it back. If I don't get it back, no big deal. That ain't my problem. That's your problem. That's something you got to deal with. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. Like I'm doing my work to find out. You know what I mean? Where I need to better myself at. Now, if you on YouTube and you want to beef and you holler and you want problems, that's something you got to work with. It ain't YouTube. Then again, realist, you know what? Thinking
Hmm.
about it this way, you really can't even say it's YouTube. You got to say it's the individual. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. I just said that last night too. Um, I was listening to
Mhm.
somebody speak, and he was talking about the goings on and whatnot. And I was just like, you know what? It's at the point now we can't even say it's the app no more. It's the people on the app. Because this app,
Mhm.
you can still use it for what you want to use it for. There's still good people on here and all
Right,
of that. You know what I
right.
mean? You just gotta find them
Mhm.
sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But they out here, they around. But just like I look at it the same way I look at like the world. Like you
Mhm.
gotta have, the decent people, the half decent, the good people, and then you gotta have the assholes too. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
You gotta have both of those things to like keep a steady balance, basically. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I was just thinking of that word. You just took that word right out of my head, man. I was thinking of balance because you need both. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of it all, you're still responsible because it's up to you to keep that balance. You know what I'm saying? So instead of trying to look for people that I can rock with, I'll just feel a vibe. Like you, I feel your vibe. I rock with you. Kimosh, I feel her vibe. I rock with her, and so forth and so forth. I don't go for now who sounds like the best person or who sounds the most educated or who's talking about something that sounds good to me. So I'm gonna go over there because that's a trap. You know what I'm saying? The vibes got to be right. How do you hold your channel down? What's your conversations about? How do you speak about things? You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you curse. I mean, it is what it is. We all don't. You know what I mean? But I get it. Sometimes you got to curve it because that might, some people don't want to hear all the curse words, so you might want to curve it for that purposes. But no, I just like genuine people, and you can just hear and feel genuine people. So I tend to gravitate to that a lot more than just the people out here looking for bullshit.
Yeah, man. Um, like I say, like for me, it's
Mhm.
just all about uh it's just about that same energy. It's about reciprocation or whatever. Going back to
Mhm.
what I said earlier, when I said what I said about about like the support thing and all that, it ain't about, listen, I don't give a fuck about like nobody, like I don't give a fuck about blowing up like off of likes and all that shit like that. But it's like
Mhm.
if you got people who were rocking with you, supporting your
Mhm.
goal or whatever you had going on, help you get to where you was trying to get to. When you see them trying to do the same thing, you automatically show that. There shouldn't even be nothing to talk about there. You know what
There
I'm
you go.
saying?
Yeah.
Like I stand on, being reciprocal. I don't care, like whether it's a relationship or friendship, whatever the case. Because if you ain't got, how people say, if you ain't got loyalty, you ain't got nothing. If you ain't got trust, you ain't got nothing. If you ain't got
Yeah.
respect, you ain't got nothing. You can say
Nah, I
that about
agree.
all those
Yeah.
things. Reciprocation, that's in there too. If you ain't like,
Yeah.
how can you
Mhm.
call yourself being how can you call somebody like a friend, or how can you call somebody your lady, or how can you call somebody your wife if that reciprocation ain't there? That's a key
Right.
part of any situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm
you're right,
definitely
man.
I'm definitely gonna look at you different. I'm like, I ain't gonna even say nothing to you about it. I'm just gonna, slide accordingly. That's why I changed the name of the channel. Slide accordingly.
That's right. That's right. Hey, man, a house ain't a house without the foundation. You know what I'm saying?
It's a fact. There you go.
So you need that foundation, and that's another thing that I can't say that. that this is something I'm going through because I'm not a big content creator. So I'm not even like, dude, I'm not even, I ain't gonna front. A lot of times I don't be motivated like that. But nah, man. I mean, sometimes you gotta like look at the people, you know what I'm saying, that really got your back. Like me, automatically. Like if I see you're going live, I'm automatically hitting that thumbs button. You know what I mean? I don't gotta think about it. Keymosh is going live, I'm automatically hitting that thumbs up button. And then I'm sharing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many people I can get to watch it, but look, dude, I'm sharing. I'm hitting thumbs up. I'm in your chat. You know what I mean? Good energy, good vibes. And if I get on your panel, I'm gonna do the same thing. I try to give that respect. You know what I mean? So maybe it's the foundation. Maybe it's just certain people you're expecting too much from, but then you forget about the people who've been there from the very beginning, or the ones
Mm,
that you know that got your back. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They don't mind throwing, $5, $10, whatever in the cash app, and you ain't even gonna ask it. They'll just automatically toss it in there just because you happen to be on at a certain point where they have it. You know what I mean? So they throw support. Then you got the people who don't have the money because maybe they're paying bills and then gas prices
Exactly.
going up, grocery going up. I mean,
Exactly.
you got to consider these things.
That's true. That's true. You know. But yeah. Going back to, you can hear me fine, right? Want to make sure I ain't got no
Are
static
you,
or nothing like that.
are you good, brother? Am I good? Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna make sure we both good. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, you crystal though, bro. You good.
All right.
Definitely good.
Going back to what I was saying earlier, like
Mhm.
like this year I really learned though, man. I gotta go back to it. Like when it comes down to like just the dynamic between like men and women, right? I gotta say this, like to the ladies, y'all gotta cut that shit out though, man. Like I get it. Everybody don't have their experiences with the next. You know what? I'm sure me and Keith can sit up here right now and talk about the negative experiences we don't have with women. But here's the thing:
All right.
what the last
Well,
person did, or whatever we've been through with the last person, that ain't got nothing to do with somebody we ain't never met before. It's okay to want to be single, maybe not to even want to be bothered, but I don't really like ran into people who like really have like a hate for men based on shit that they done been through. You know what I'm saying? And
hey,
it's like,
bro, I'm gonna mute up. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm gonna mute up quick. I'm gonna try to make me a cup of coffee here. I don't want to have this little,
handle your
machine and
business,
this little
bro.
thing here banging. So I'm gonna mute up real quick.
Handle your business, bro. Go ahead.
My man.
But what I'm saying is, like, it's corny, man. It's corny. Like I ain't gonna lie. At one point in time, years ago, maybe I did feel like that myself. I was like, like excuse my language, but there probably was a point where I was like, man, these bitches ain't shit. I think every man that, believe it or not, every man or woman don't had a point in their life where they probably said that about the opposite sex. But when you get older, you realize what that person did, that ain't got nothing to do with this girl right here. There's some people they ain't never gonna understand that. They feel like automatically, they're like that's crazy when somebody is so used to being treated like shit by the opposite sex that they feel like there's no such thing as a man being nice to them. That's crazy. That mean okay, that's something you got to work on. That ain't got nothing to do with me at all. Like some women ain't even used to a nigga holding the door for them. That's crazy. That's crazy. Ain't even used to, like a nigga. Like I understand it. Like you don't hear what's the word? What do you call that? I forgot the name of the word, but it's a different era and everything like that. So no, you don't got like no whole bunch of gentlemen just walking around and shit like that. You know what I mean? I mean they are out here, but I'm saying like if you want to be single, if you don't want to be bothered with dudes and shit like that, okay, that's fine. That's you know. I'm just speaking in general. I ain't going off as just like my own experiences. I'm going off of shit that I see. You know what I'm saying? Like if we if we treat people based on the experiences that we already had, like there's no wonder there's so many damn single people in the world, man. Because the people that's actually trying to, the people that's the decent ones that's sitting here actually trying to find this one, trying to find something or whatever. They end up running to the people who, call themselves not even appreciating it. So I'm sure there's some women who probably be like, why these niggas gotta be so, oh, I'm just trying to fuck. I'm just trying to get this nut off. I ain't even trying to be with you, whatever the case. That's because them niggas probably done dealt with some shit with women they damn self. I mean, they shouldn't. Some of them are just dogs. We gonna keep it real. There's some ain't shit niggas out here, but we gonna keep it real too. There's some ain't shit women out here too. You know, I'm gonna put that disclaimer out there. We're gonna talk about the women. I ain't got no problem highlighting the shit that niggas do too. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Everybody done been through some shit. But I can only speak from a man's perspective because I'm a man. I can't sit here and go totally off on men for the things that men do to women because I'm not a woman. You know what I'm saying? I'll leave that for the women because I see these women who got their podcasts and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Real shit. I'm back, bro. I'm back, bro. I didn't want to have water running and all that in the background. Yeah, you was dropping some heavy science right there, brother. You was really. I agree with everything you said, man.
Yeah, man.
It's it's so easy, like you said. It's so easy for me and you to get on this panel right now, this very moment, and run down a laundry list of all the negative experiences we had with women. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, that really doesn't say anything. If anything, that still says that we're still dealing with our hurt. We
Right.
haven't grown out of that hurt stage. You know what I mean? We're taking our past experience that we dealt with previous people, not previous, but people from the past, and we're bringing it to the present, which is the present people, and we're making them suffer or pay for the bill that they didn't create. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that shit's crazy, man.
And it minds boggle me, man, when I hear men and women going back and forth. Now, me being a man, I'm automatically obligated as team man, so I got to stick up for every man out here. Like, no, I'm not responsible for every man out here.
Right,
There's
right.
some good brothers out there, and there's some bad brothers out there. There's some good sisters, and there's some bad sisters out there. You know what I mean? It's up to you to determine which way you want to go with it. It ain't about, well, this group, that group, this group. No, how you want to go about it. You want to hang around the bad ones. Okay, go hang around the bad ones, but do not complain that there's no good men out here if all you're doing is hanging around the bad ones.
Right, that's a damn lie. It be quick to say that shit, man.
Uh,
Some people, some women just be having their mind made up. They don't wanna give no man the benefit of the doubt. They don't wanna,
no.
you know what I'm saying? They,
And then you
I don't
got,
know.
and then us being men, we got to be real too, man. A lot of us, man, we be wanting them hot chicks, we wanting them baddies and all that, bro. I don't, bro. Today in my life, I want a straight up nerd. You know what I'm
I-
saying? Give me a woman that reads books, that can, what I mean, can articulate, can, I need my mind stimulated nowadays. The hell
right,
with all
right.
everything else. You know what I mean? Like that was
Yeah,
cool back in the day when I was younger and I had all that energy like that. But nowadays, I'm older, man. I'm more laid back. I'm more reserved about things. I'm more about observing things. I need a woman to match that energy. You know what I mean? I ain't out here with all that, man. I ain't got that young energy no more.
right, 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 right. It's a
For
shame. You take a look at how fast like the years be going by. Like I'm looking at gray hairs in the beard and shit. Motherfucking bones feel like they be cracking and shit. Sometimes this shit like damn,
real.
my ass getting old like that. You can't do half the shit you used to do, young. That's crazy.
Man, and I used to stay with long hair, man. I got a cut when my mother passed away. I got my hair cut, so I've tried to keep it low. Man, I'm starting to like my hair is starting to go back. I'm starting to hair receding and shit. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
I'm gonna be walking around with the bald head soon. You know what I mean? I gotta get that little bald head thing going on.
yeah, I
My
tried
son
that.
looking at, oh, go ahead,
My
bro. What
bad.
you saying?
Nah, finish what you was saying. My bad, bro.
No, I was just saying my son be looking at my head like, Dad, and he put his head down, and I'll be like, "Man, I don't know." This might be you in the future, son. You might have to get your little head cut too, like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just work, stress, everything around you, man. But you know, that's a part of growing up, man. Gray hairs everywhere. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
but I'm aging gratefully, brother. You know what I'm saying? We're aging gracefully, and that's the whole idea. As long as you can age gracefully and be wise and intelligent, and like you say, move accordingly, you should be good to go, man. Like too short to be out here bullshitting.
Yeah, and Bronze, you got a point. Yeah, Bronze, you got a point with that. Bronze say some ladies got daddy issues too. Yeah, I done seen shit like that before. Like I've seen women, maybe like in their 30s or something like that. Like this is just one example of what you call
Mhm.
daddy issues. And they even
Yeah,
used to
man.
like dealing with like dudes that's like 60 something years old and shit like that. Now I don't knock the age thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm never gonna knock that because for some of us we prefer someone
Yeah.
who got a little couple years on us or whatever. It's a maturity thing. Even though people who might
Hmm.
be older than you at the time, they might figure, well, you were young and whatever the case, but it's like they don't know that you might have an old soul, whatever the case. You got to get to know that person before you sit there and
Hmm.
say, oh, you too young. Okay, if you're going by age, of course you're going to say that. But you get to know that person, you'll see, and they ain't different from you. They got bills just like you. They got responsibilities
Hmm.
just like you. They ain't only thing different is the fact you were born in 87, they born in 93. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's the mindset. It's the
yeah,
mindset. It's what what um what they put their attention to. You know what I'm saying? And what really resonates in their thought pattern, their day to day thought pattern. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes a difference, man.
hmm,
And just like he said about the what was that again about dad issues? Some of us, man, as men, we have mother issues. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah,
it be like that, man.
yeah. So that's why I can't say that I can be on team men or team women because I see both sides in the same kind of situation in a way. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, who's more of a victim? Is women more of a victim or is men more of a victim? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
I,
know.
I don't. I don't either. I don't see it. Like neither one really have any kind of room to put the other down. So
Yeah.
what's the point? Stop with all this back and forth. That's why I don't really like. I'll try to see and give a benefit of the doubt, but after a while, I'm like, all right, bro or sis, that's your opinion. That's how you feel. I respect that because if I sit up here and try to convince you that there's good men, like I said earlier, all it takes is one or two idiots to come along and just destroy everything I tried to build with you. So,
Exactly.
so what's the point?
Shout out to the brother Kevin. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. But yeah, exactly. And that's why. Like, I think I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Somebody had brought up the man of spirit to me. I would never subscribe to that type of bullshit. I would never like sit up here just like straight up just bash and clown women or whatever the case. The only thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna speak on my experiences, from things that I witnessed and and just looking around at how it seems like the how it kind of like seems like the dynamic is for the most part. You know what I'm saying? When you look around in this
Right.
area, it's a different time, it's a different era, whatever the case is. So it's like,
Mhm.
I can just speak from, my own perspective or whatever. My own thing is I see why there's so many single people in the world. Nobody don't want to put up with
Yeah.
bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like from
Right.
us, it's like, damn if we do, damn if we don't. I'm sure there's women who probably feel like that too. But you can only speak from a male's perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
sitting here, you
Mhm.
think you putting the best foot forward, trying to be that genuine, authentic person, trying to
Right.
interact with this female, whatever the case is. But maybe
Mhm.
she's sitting there, you know, thinking, it's too good to be true. I got to figure out, see if there's more to him or whatever. So they playing them games where it's like they making you chase them, making you like kiss their ass to get to a point. And then it's like, meanwhile, while you
Mhm.
sitting over here, they want you to kiss their ass. Over here, there's a female who's like ready and willing to interact with you. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's like we take things for granted as men, but women take things
Yeah,
for
we
granted
do.
too. Women definitely
Yeah,
take
yeah.
granted too. We all take things for granted. You know what I'm
We
saying?
all do across the board. We all do, man. And again, like I said, because everything you said, brother, again, you're spot on. I can't push back against anything you said. The only thing I can throw in there is you got to get comfortable. See, this being a lot of people are single, like myself. I'm single, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at it one way or another way. You can look at it as a bad thing. I'm by myself. I ain't got nobody to share moments with. Or you can turn this into a positive and get to know yourself better. That way you'll know the kind of companionship you want, the kind of relationship you want, what kind of union you want. So if you was to be in a relationship with somebody, you would know exactly what you would want and what you would need. You know what I mean? And if that person doesn't provide that for you, you can sense that right away. It's getting to know thyself, as they say, better. That's why I turned my whole situation because I decided to do this. I can go out there and run the streets and get with any old thing, but I don't want to do that. I want to have a respect level about myself. So therefore, I'm looking for a partner who can precipitate the same thing that I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? It's about matching levels, about balance. And if there's no balance, it ain't going to work. You know what I mean? So take this time to be single to get to know yourself, get to love yourself, do some cool shit to yourself. You know what I mean? Go to the movies, go out to eat, do these things to yourself. The hell with what people are saying. Because, like you said earlier, really, people are going to talk about you regardless what you do. So
Yeah.
why not live your life, enjoy yourself, and get to know who you are, get to love yourself. And then that right partner may or may not come. But if they do come, you know you got a good one because you done the work already on yourself to find that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Instead of just getting with anything out here, and then brothers and sisters for that matter, then they wonder why they get caught up because you're gravitating to whatever's out there that looks good. Looks can be deceiving. I
Right.
land my
Right.
plane on that one.
Right. Like the looks thing and all of that. Um, like my God, like
Mhm.
it's easy to get caught up and how a person looks or whatever. Some people they ain't trying to hear nothing else you got to say if they're not physically attracted. And I'm not gonna sit here and act
Mhm.
like it's a shallow thing, but for some of us, I don't know. The physical could be just as important. I try not to be that way because the most
Right.
beautiful motherfucker on the outside could be the most hideous motherfucker on the inside. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They just gonna take some time to see that shit. But it's a lot of these dudes, they be so thirsty for it, they get caught up every time. They get caught in that trap
Every
every
time.
damn time. All they need to
Every
see
time.
is a little bit of cleavage and a little bit of that, and it's a wrap. You know what I mean? They get
It's a
ran
wrap.
raggedy. Get ran
It's a
raggedy trying to chase something that they
mhm.
to their understanding, they don't even know there's something that they don't even want. They don't even want, but they're not gonna, understand that until they actually get caught.
Yeah. Okay, like all right, you chased her, you pursued her, you got the ass, then what? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Then what? What's next? Are y'all gonna build something together? What could if you get sick, or can you depend on her to take care of you and help you to nurse you back to good health? And then vice versa with the women. Same thing. Okay, you got this
Mm,
dude, you got some dick, you got this, you got that. Now, can you depend on this person to have your best interest? What's
mm,
next? You know what I mean? So they don't think, man. Society, unfortunately, and I'm not saying this as a whole. I'm just saying the majority that influence society, they don't think. They just do the shit. You know what I mean? And you got nothing wrong with doing it, but you gotta put a little thought process behind that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm human. I mean, hey, sometimes I do shit myself and I don't be thinking. But you
mm.
gotta catch. See, I catch myself though when I get too far off to the end. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
Right.
You know, what I mean? Like, damn, Shorty did look kind of nicer, but I gotta remember I'm at work and this is where I'm getting my money at. I ain't trying to get,
Right.
you know what I mean? I ain't trying to get fired. You know, it don't take much, especially being the only black dude on my job. It don't take much for them to be like, yeah, you know how that goes. So
Yeah,
I
man.
ain't just give me my money. That's it.
Yeah.
Give me my money.
Now that old saying, everything that look good to you ain't good for you. There's plenty of sayings like that, but That's
Yeah,
that's the realest shit right there, bro.
yeah, bro. That's the truth. Yeah, that's some true shit right there. Looks can
Oh,
be deceiving. Yeah, and look good to you ain't always good for you, man. Like I said, you can give me an ugly chick, dude. I'll be fine with her because again, I don't give a shit what people looking at. Think about it, like a lot of times, us as men, we not only do we want to look good, we want to have a partner that looks just as good, so we can flaunt and show it off. Look, man, you give me a woman that looks like a welder beast, as long as she got the goodest heart in the world, we
right.
rocking.
I don't care.
I'm being funny, but I'm just saying, I'm being honest.
I
Like, I
hear
don't
you.
care. I mean, looks are cool and all, you know what I'm saying? But it's what's in her mind and what's in her heart. As long as those things are working, look, we can work on getting that stuff. You know what I mean? Get your hair done, your nails done, or whatever, whatever. We ain't gonna do that little what's that BBL thing. I don't know about all that. Like that's a little too far.
Right, right,
That's that. I mean, I'm still into natural. I'm not into this. We
man,
ain't doing the cyborg thing yet. Not yet.
right. Man, I ain't into all that build a bear shit now. I ain't doing
Yeah,
that.
there it
Mm.
is. That's even better. I like that. The build a bear. I like that one better.
But
More wordy.
respectfully to any woman that's into that, because I understand there's some women they not doing the
Mhm.
makeover thing just to impress a man, but they be doing it because they're doing it for themselves because they want to make themselves feel good.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Yeah,
Which
yeah,
I
yeah.
can
I mean, if you're no, yeah, it's real shit. If you're doing it to better yourself, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what I'm saying or anybody else for that matter. No, you got to make yourself happy. You know what I mean? And if you can make yourself happy, others will see that, and you can pass that on to them, and they can be encouraged to be happy. You know what I'm saying? You got to teach people how to make you happy just by how you carry yourself and how you speak and how you move. You know what I mean? So yeah, do whatever makes you happy. At the end of the day, just don't
yeah.
get too consumed. You want to still be your original self. You don't want to, like you said, build a bear. You don't want to be all stuffed with cotton. You know what I mean?
Hell no. Like I don't mind, just on some real stuff. I don't mind me a all natural woman, bro. Like,
Oh
I'm like
man,
cellulite. I'm talking about the stomach, the thighs, the
yeah.
stretch marks, all of that. I mean
Stretch
that shit.
marks. All
No,
right,
I
all
don't
right. I'm trying to tell you.
listen. I don't give a fuck. You hear me? Like that shit is
All
beautiful, man.
right, I'm
At least
trying to
I
tell
know it's
you.
real. At least I know it's real, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right, what did Tony Montana say? You're a tiger. She's a tiger.
Yeah.
That's my tiger. You kidding?
Because
Nah.
there be a lot of women who be like feeling down about themselves because they take a look at this era of everybody getting that BBL shit done, thinking that they be having
Yeah,
insecurities about themselves and shit like that. They be
yeah,
trying to eat right, maybe trying to get themselves together because they don't like what they see. They don't like that cellulite and all that other shit. But they forget that there's still some dudes out here who understand. Listen,
yeah.
women have babies. Everybody gonna have some
Mhm.
baby fat or whatever. That shit is appreciated out here by some real ones, man. Fuck all that.
Real. Talk about it, brother. Tell it. Tell it. That's some real shit. I feel you on that 100%, brother. For real. There is some brothers out there who love that, man, because we get it. You know what I'm saying? This is life. This is natural. This is what a woman's
Exactly.
body goes through. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta, you know what I mean, take yourself apart like Mr. Potato Head. You know what I mean? No, we get it. You know what I'm saying? And when
Right.
I say that, I'm not saying, in other words, you don't have to be impressed. You don't have to do much to impress somebody who actually understands and values a genuine person. You know what I mean? That's really what I was getting at. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But nowadays, everybody, you know what I mean? Like I said earlier, everybody on that pull apart shit. Like take one part off and put another part on and do this and do
Yeah.
that. And you're doing all that to do what? Now, if you're doing it for you, cool. But if you're doing that to fit in, man, I mean, that ain't gonna turn out well.
Yeah, man. I remember I used to have a Mr. Potato Head too. I think
I think we all did, man.
yeah. I don't know what happened to that damn thing, but yeah, man. And it's crazy because
Mm,
going back to what I just said, like even though I'm sitting here, I'm saying like somebody like me and you, we would appreciate a woman who got, the all natural going on. But,
Yes, sir.
you know,
Yes, sir.
they might be sitting here giving somebody like you or me all
Mm,
hell. We sitting there, we can appreciate, we respect, and we give them praise for them, not looking like a fake supermodel or whatever, but we'll be the ones that they
right.
give trouble to. It's like, I don't believe it. You think I look good just like this? I just don't believe you. It's something else you want, nigga. What you want, nigga? You know what I mean? Like, this
Mm,
should be weird as hell, fam. That should be weird as hell. It always got
yeah,
to be a
it'd be weird,
motive.
man.
Let me say, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it again. I'm gonna say it one more time. Let,
Hmm.
us as men, damn right, we're wired to want to have sex with women. You fucking right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we
Hmm.
understand there's more to that. And this are some of us that look forward to other, the other things besides sex. That's as honest as
Yeah.
y'all gonna hear it. That's as real as it's gonna
Yeah.
get. These other
Real
motherfuckers,
talk.
they gonna lie their ass off. They say, no, I ain't trying to, or whatever the case is. No, I'm gonna say, no, I'm attracted to you. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna want to have sex with you at some point, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to jump on it. I'm not gonna try to rush or nothing like that. Yeah, I want to get to
Right.
know you about. Hell yeah, I appreciate everything. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Right. And that comes with maturity, man. Again, that comes with maturity. That comes with getting to know who you are and having a good understanding of yourself and your values. You know what I'm saying? That once a man gets to that point in his life, some men don't even get to that point ever in their life. They still just continuously stuck in their childhood. No,
Yeah.
technically they're living in their second, third childhood at this point. You know what I mean? But some of us, we grow up and we've realized, man, it's more to a woman than just her sex appeal. You know what I mean? It's more than just her body and stuff like that. It could be her intelligence. You know what I'm saying? The way that she speaks. You know what I mean? She could say some things like in my opinion, bro. I think women are the best teachers.
Mm, okay.
You know what I mean? When it comes to teaching, women are. I mean, think about it. I had a mother. You had a mother. We all had a mother.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Good
Our
point.
first teachers ever were our moms. So women, in my opinion, not saying men can't be good teachers. Yeah, they can be very great teachers. But women can be great teachers, dog. So at the end of the day, you got to know exactly who you are. Therefore, you once you have that understanding of yourself, you'll know what you want. You know what you desire. And the same thing with a woman. You know what I mean? Because the worst thing that I could possibly say to someone or someone can say to me, and it has been said to me before, and I felt some type of way, or somebody to look at me and say that I know them better than they know themselves. If I was a no good individual, I would instantly take advantage of that situation. But me being who I am, not saying that I'm a saint, because look, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a heathen. All right, I ain't gonna play no games. I am a straight up heathen, right? But I'm not
Right.
the type to take advantage of people. Now, go ahead, bro. What you saying?
Nah, I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Continue on, bro. I hear what you're saying.
Word, man. I mean, so I that's my main thing. Like even with my daughters, I try to encourage them. Get to know yourself. You know what I mean? Get to know who you are. You know what I mean? Understand who you are. You know what I mean? And if there's things that you're not so sure about, look at that and work on that. Find some kind of good something of okay, your nose is a certain way, you don't like it. Okay, well, look at it a different way. Do something to make it better for you. Don't do something that's gonna you'll regret you did later. You know what I'm saying? Just
Right.
try to grow with it. And that's where it comes from. Therefore, you ain't gotta worry about, well, like you said earlier, well, he must be wanting this, he must be wanting that. Well, if you know who you are, you wouldn't have to worry about all the extra stuff. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be with this person if that was the case anyway. You got with that person because obviously there's something special and unique there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. That's how I function. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
you
Good
saying
brother.
some real stuff. I hear what you're saying. Definitely hear what you're saying.
Mm,
And then also, of course, I gotta
mm,
say,
mm.
sometimes the physical, like the being praised for, you know, how beautiful they are, how good they look, that
Mhm.
can go to some ladies' head. To some,
Oh
some of them
man,
they can get a big
yeah,
head from it, and they feel
yeah,
like that's why some of them feel like they can treat some of these niggas the way they do, Keith. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these niggas be
Mm,
drooling over their ass. Oh, damn, you so fine. I'm like, damn, let me do this, let me do that. You know, and then some of them will let
mhm.
them niggas do all of that and still don't give them no time of day. They just want to see what they could get out the nigga. That type of shit,
Yeah,
I don't respect it at all. I think you're a
yeah.
piece of shit. I think you're a piece of shit for a woman if that's the type of time you want. That's how I feel
I,
straight. I ain't got no problem saying that. Right here,
I
this time of
feel
morning. I ain't got no problem saying it. I
I
don't like
feel
bull-
that, brother.
don't
I
like
feel
bullshit.
that.
Don't
It's
like that.
manipulation. No, I feel you. And I don't like it either, man. It's manipulation. You know what I mean? Men do it, women do it. It's manipulation. Even though, in my opinion, respectfully, women
Uh,
are a little bit tad better at it than men.
yeah.
You know what I mean? When it comes to manipulation, I know Kimo. I hope Kimo, we all good. No, but just real shit though. Now, women are because they're thinkers. You know what I'm saying? Again, they can be the best teachers. Women are
Oh yeah.
thinkers. You know what I'm saying? So there, when it comes to certain and manipulation ain't always a bad thing. Sometimes manipulation could be a good thing. It just all
It can.
depends on the God. What you saying, bro?
No, I'm agreeing with you. I was just saying it can continue, bro.
Yeah, manipulation can be a good thing or a bad thing. It just all depends on your motives and what you're trying to get the other person to do and don't do. But women, yeah, women, man, women can be, yeah, they can be something else. But
Yeah.
it all depends on how you go about it. You know what I'm saying? And how you go about treating them. Same thing with men. You know what I'm saying?
You know, thing is, I'm sure me and you, we can both sit here and agree. We know
Mhm.
for a fact they're all dudes, and you can't compare, you can't put all dudes in the same box. There's some ain't shit
Hell
dudes
no.
out here for real. Some ain't shit dudes
Hell
that's looking
no.
to get everything they can get out of a woman, whether sexually, financially, hell, mentally,
Facts.
all of that.
Facts.
Understand?
Big facts. Big
But
facts. Hmm.
I know, this women who still put us all in that same category. But
Hmm.
I'm at the age, I've been around long enough to understand. No matter how mad I might be at this woman, I know this woman right here that I just met. I know she ain't. I can't say that about her until I see something. I can't put that title on her. I can't put that tag on her. I gotta see what she about.
Right. 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 That's when observing a person and just listening to a person and paying attention again, how they talk, how they carry themselves, how they treat themselves. You pay attention to those signs, and that lets you know what you need to know about the individual. You know what I'm saying? And that automatically separates people. Now, those who are easy to kind of you can look at, they're out there. You know what I mean? They're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing with that sheep mentality. Everybody's following the latest trends and doing. Again, if you're doing it to make yourself feel happy, by all means do that. You know what I mean? As long as you're doing it to make you happy. But if you out here doing what everybody else is doing, you're pretty much contributing to the stereotypes that do no good for me, you, none of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to point out those people, but the people who again took the time out to actually work on themselves and get a better understanding of themselves, they have a different vibe about themselves. They have a different aura about themselves. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna
Yeah.
land my plane there, bro. I don't want to keep going. And my coffee been there. Like I should have been drinking my coffee. I'm busy with talking with you, brother. I
Uh, he
love these
was,
conversations, man. Really
yeah, he was talking some good shit. He was hitting
appreciate
it
it.
on the head, man. You know what I'm saying? He was hitting it on the head for sure.
I can't be fake about it, brother. Just like you said, you know what I'm saying? Can't be fake about it. I can't be fake with it either.
Yeah, man. But what was I getting ready to say? Cause I get on that roll, and the thing about me, I get on that roll, end up ranting and shit. And then once I stop, I be done forgot the hell I was saying, man.
Go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to chop it up, bro. We putting it down. It's been a minute since I got up with you, bro. So I don't mean to chop any of your wisdom. Trying to,
Nah, you
speak
good.
my opinions.
You good. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm glad you up here because I like to hear, different perspective and all of that. So I appreciate you and shit. But
Right on, right on,
yeah,
right
I just
on.
say, and I think I might have even said this the other day. I think to the ladies that's on that type of time where they probably feel like manipulation. When it comes to who can manipulate better, I'm sure some women I think will say men can do it just as well. But there's some women who say, listen, you can't you can't beat a woman at manipulation, faking the funk or whatever. The same way we know you can't beat a woman in an argument. You a damn fool if you even try.
See,
A damn
there
fool
you
if
go.
you even try.
There you go. See, that's another point. Another point right there. Women are thinkers. That doesn't mean that men were stupid. Women are just by nature they're thinkers, dude. You know what I'm saying? So of course their mind is going to be able to do certain things that I'm not saying there's no men that can do it, but women are going to have that certain mindset. They're planners, dude. The perfect planners,
Mhm.
perfect teachers. Women, you got to give them their dues. You got to. But it's up to them if they want to use this for something positive or something negative. And in this society, most men and women usually use their talents, their gifts, if you want to say blessings or their magic, whatever you want to call it, they use her for all the wrong shit. Then they wonder why all this negative stuff is coming to them and all they see is negative. Because you're using your gifts for all the wrong stuff.
Mm. Mhm.
It's being honest, bro.
No, you talking that
Just being
real.
honest.
Listen, I ain't gonna debate with you about nothing you just said, man. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it, bro.
Raw
Cause
stuff.
we on key. We on key with it, brother. I'm just glad to be up here, dude. Like I said, I should be asleep right now, but I see my brother Realest live. I'm like, yeah, I gotta slide over there with my brother. Been a minute.
Always appreciate it, because the thing about me, and I never get no type of heads up or nothing. Like if I'm like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go live right now, and that's what I'm gonna do. That's just how I am, man.
Hmm.
And it ain't never
Yeah.
in the daytime or morning. It's always gonna be late at night because that's when my mind works the best. And that's when my mind be like, 5 miles
Mhm.
per minute and shit.
Exactly, dude. I be at work, body be at work, but my mind be somewhere completely different. Dude, they be
Mhm.
throwing me off at work. I be zoned out somewhere. Manager come up, hey, yeah, yeah. Whoa, shit. I jump. He look at me like, what happened? Man, I was somewhere else. Like, uh-oh. I didn't mean to mess up your groove because I like to work alone for the most part. I don't like working in a crowd and all that yip yapping. But
Yeah,
that's besides the point,
that's
though.
like me. That's like me. Um, I always kind of been like a lone wolf. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. I mean, of course, I got people that I grew up with. Like people that I hold close, and all that type of stuff. But
Right,
I don't really care too much about like the group thing and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like even when I do these lives, like some people might feel a way to have, like, let's say 4 or 5 people watching them because there's some people so used to having like 40, 50, 60, 70. I like a small little intimate crowd because I'm gonna talk my shit
Yeah,
regardless. You know what I'm saying?
regardless.
I don't like to
Regardless.
see a whole bunch of comments going up the screen flying and I can't even keep up with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would
I
throw
feel
me
you.
off.
I've been around. I've seen how that goes. I'm like, whoa. But you know what? I have to say this too to be clear because, I'm gonna say this because this is something that I've noticed. I didn't really hear anybody say this to me, but this is something that I've noticed of me. I don't try to speak negative about groups. You know what I'm saying? But usually, a lot of times when groups come together, at the end of it all, it usually crumbles or falls apart. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So coming together from the very beginning, it has to be a natural thing. You know what I'm saying? Even though I push back a lot about being groups and joining up with groups, like me and you, for an example, Realist, we don't have to get up here and say that we're networking and we're a group. We just vibe. We get on a panel and we talk
Right.
our talk. That automatically connects us as a unifying force without us even saying, you know what I mean, that we're unified and we're up here putting it together and we're building. I don't have to say I'm building with you, Realist. I'm doing it now.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying?
Sure.
So I'm not saying I hate groups. I just prefer things to be more natural where everything kind of comes magnetically. Everybody comes together for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And just instead of just coming together saying that we're this or we're saying we're that. So I just want to throw that out there. I don't hate groups. I just hate when everything is mangled together and it's all mangled together for all the wrong shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So, but I'm gonna land my plane. There. I'm gonna get my coffee here. Go ahead, Realist.
you good, boy. You good.
I don't want this coffee to get cold on me, man.
I agree with what you're saying. No, I see exactly what you're saying. I think people gotta understand that, when they try to force shit to happen, when they try to
Mhm.
force things together, you know,
Right.
it can be like a domino effect, and it can be, unforeseen. I don't know if I want to use the word consequences. I don't want to say that. Um,
Yeah. You would be
it's
right if you did. You would be right if you did, though.
it's like, let me say it like this. Let me say it like that. If you're
Okay.
trying to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you're trying to force that thing together, that peanut butter and jelly sandwich might start breaking up and crumbling. But if you
Mhm.
spread it on the right way, everything will work. If you spread it on naturally, then that peanut butter and jelly sandwich might be the best motherfucking PB and J sandwich you ever had in your life.
I'm trying to tell you, real
If you
shit,
understand, if you understand what I'm saying, you know what I
real shit.
mean?
That's real. That's 100. That's 100 right there. That's 100. That's
Yeah,
absolutely 100%, man. Yeah. So I can't beat the drum enough, man, about that respect factor, man. You got to have that about yourself, and man, and once a man or a woman can, get to that point in their life, because we're all going to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It's about
yeah.
learning those mistakes and trying not to hold. And that's another thing that we do is we hold grudges, and it's sometimes it's real hard to let go. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
you gotta let go of them grudges, man, because you can't treat one person because of what somebody else done. One person done this wrong, so now you're
Hmm.
treating everybody the same way. You can't, you know what I mean? Can't do that. But it does make sense to act accordingly and move accordingly because you never know, man, about people. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly why I yell that shit out, man. Like,
No shit, you encourage me with that shit, realist. Let's be real with it, brother. You encourage me with that. You act accordingly.
for real, man. It's
Oh,
just it's simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a
yeah.
simple. Like I incorporated that into just like my way of living, bro. My way of life. In any
Mhm.
situation we're
Right.
in any predicament we're in anybody we're in, or any, you know, no matter what type of person we're interacting with, as long
Mhm.
as you move according to the interaction and the situation at hand, then I feel like everything gonna work out exactly the way it's supposed to work out. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's real shit right there, as it should. As it should.
Like when it comes to like dealing with people, no more, I ain't doing the overcompensating shit. I ain't doing the giving them more respect than maybe giving them more respect than they deserved, or whatever the case.
Hmm.
I had to learn to kind of like check myself at the door, whatever, because I started looking at it, maybe I was expect. At times, you can't
Hmm.
expect certain things from people that you probably ain't had no business expecting. You know what I'm
Expectations. That's
saying?
a lot. Expectations is another dangerous one, man, because
And
you're expecting
also,
so much. Yeah.
we gotta learn not to make ourselves so accessible. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of cases,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Hmm.
people don't appreciate, you know what I'm saying? They don't, or maybe might not appreciate what it is you bring to the table, or whatever it is you represent, or your
Right.
own values and morals, or whatever the case. So, just this whole
Hmm.
past year, I done learned so much that I'm still applying. I ain't there yet, but I'm still applying certain things. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Right. Yeah.
you can't. So, listen, I could go on for fucking hours about this shit, but
Let's go. Let's go, brother. Let's go. Let's chop it up, brother. Let's go.
you can't give people respect if they don't want it. You can't.
Hmm.
That part right there. I'm more so saying that as far. I mean that as a whole for every, whether man or woman. But
Hmm.
of course, I have to. incorporate that into, the whole woman and man dynamic, because like I say,
Right on. Mhm.
you know, you just gotta be careful, man. Like, you
Yes,
sitting here,
sir.
you trying to be the most genuine person to somebody who just don't appreciate it. And when it's said and done, they'll have you second guessing yourself. Like, well,
Hmm.
I did something wrong? Like, you think you know what I mean? Like, fucking with the wrong person will have you second guessing your
Hmm.
damn self. Even you know your intentions were genuine, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that goes
Right.
beyond just dealing with women, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know, man.
Mhm.
It's just humans, bro. It's humans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's it's human nature, as they say. It's human nature. You're going to deal with negative and positive. It all depends on how you go about balancing it, man. And yeah, you just you got to be that balancing scale. You got to know what's worth your time and what ain't. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I know it's social media, and we need that. You know what I mean? Social media is a good thing, but it also has its negative. You know, real talk. I thought about this one day, right? I said, looking back at the civil rights era, right? They didn't have a lot of technology. There wasn't no Facebook or X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. They didn't have a YouTube to have panels. You know what I mean? Where they were talking about, holding rallies here and there. They found ways to communicate, and they were a lot more unified. Today, we have all this technology, all this social media stuff, and it seems like as a whole, we're more divided than anything. Now, maybe that could be just a smoke screen for what could really be going on behind the scenes, because maybe there is a lot of, unifying that's going on with these apps, you know. But the image that's being put out there, especially the younger children, because again, my daughters, you know what I mean, they're on YouTube. So they see things and they hear things, and then they come to me or their mom and they ask us questions. So we got to break it down to them, this and this and this, and this means that, you know. And if you're going to watch certain content, you know what I'm saying, you should know what they're talking about. Now, if you
Mhm.
don't know, then leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't sound good to you, leave it alone. But so it seems like this social media stuff, and again, I don't hate social media because it could be a very useful tool, but it seems like we're more divided and we're more further away from each other, even though we could be speaking to each other as if we're in the same goddamn room. Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's bittersweet, It's a double-edged thing.
Double-edged sword, man. Goddamn, real shit with that one.
It's just
Mm,
like some of us, we'll use it for what it's intended for. We know what our intentions are. We get up here and either we come up here to deliver a message. Maybe some of us are trying to get paid. Maybe some of us are trying to interact,
mm.
meet new people, whatever the case. But then some people use it as a tool to destroy other motherfuckers' lives and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying?
I always say, I got this thing where I always say, not everybody deserves to even like have a platform or have whether it's a YouTube account, Facebook account, Instagram account. Well, some people don't deserve to have it because it's all about intention. And if your
Yeah,
intention is to
yeah.
cause havoc and raise hell and
Hmm.
make waves in other people's fucking personal lives and shit, then it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's real shit, man. Real shit. And shout out to Bronze Flat Power God, because he knows what I'm talking about when it comes to the conscious community and all these different. Yeah, it's your intention. Some of us are actually here to get together and to not debate or argue, but to share thoughts and share ideas. Just like, old Thanksgiving when grandmas used to get with her friends and they would share different recipes of how to make the turkey. So they would try it out and they would compare. They didn't make it out of a competition like, who can baste the turkey better or who can with the better gravy. That these were ways of sharing things. The debate was just to share notes and then go back and forth. It wasn't about who can scream the loudest or who knows more information better than who. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, and it's not even just a conscious community. There's so many different communities that are on these social networks, And there's a lot of good within it, but again, like you said, it's your intentions. Because if you come up in here and you're looking for drama, that's what you're gonna get. Just don't get mad when it's your turn to get picked on. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Don't
Exactly.
get mad. You was laughing and joking at somebody else getting picked on. Now it's your turn. This is, everybody gets a turn in the crew. You're part of this crew, so everybody get their day to get picked on. Your day, so don't get mad.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, like I say, I ain't perfect. There's things I can work on, this, that, and the third. But
Mhm.
I feel like I do practice this a lot. You gotta be careful how you treat people, man. You
Yeah,
gotta be careful how you treat people. Cause guess what?
right on.
You might either treat them, you know, so bad. You might do something to them, push them to a point where
Mhm.
they feel like, they gotta return that, and it might be twice as bad as what you were doing. Or, I do
Mhm.
believe in the energy of the universe. That thing that come knocking
Mhm.
on your door when you least expect it. Some people
Mhm.
find themselves in situations where it's like, why is this happening to me? Why is my life all of a sudden
Mhm.
in a damn whirlwind and shit? Well, how was you
Mhm.
treating people good? What was you doing? Like, was you stepping on people's toes? Was you out here ruining folks' lives? And be careful how you treat people. If you running around here treating people like shit, talking to people any kind of way, you know, um,
Yep,
anything, man. Like I just try to move, a certain way, man.
as
When
you should,
things
man.
I feel like something is going wrong in my life, I just look at it like, okay, that's just life. But I never sit here and say, oh, that's because of what I did at this point or whatever. Not saying I'm perfect or nothing like that, but I know I don't go around looking you know, to to shit on people. I don't go around looking to make it worse for other people. Because what is that gonna give me at the end of the day? You know what I mean?
Right. See, in my point, and this is just how I see things. You know what I'm saying? And it works for me. It may not work for others, but it works for me. In my eyes, I don't believe in perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. Perfect is not a real thing.
Right.
Therefore, I don't have the expectation to look for perfect because in my mind, perfect doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? I'm focusing more on, again, with the balance. There's going to be some positive, there's going to be some negative, you know. And a lot of these negative and positives I created. You know what I mean? You take responsibility for your negatives and your positives. You know, if somebody's out here acting crazy and they're yelling and screaming all at you, now you have a choice to make. You can engage and argue with that person, or you can just simply just brush it off and walk away. Because at the end of the day, that's not your problem. That's their problem. They're the ones who have to figure out what they need to do in order to fix that issue that's got them in that stage of yelling and shouting at random people. You're good with where you're at, so continue to carry that energy. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
do believe in I do believe in whatever you put out there, you get back. Whatever
Hmm.
you create, whatever you put your attention and mind to, that's what manifests itself. You know what I'm saying?
See,
That's why I
people.
don't get on the app and go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, people don't think about that, though. Okay, me and you, we'll sit here, and, we
That's
give
what
that
I'm
some
saying.
thought. But a lot of folks, they don't think about like the way they are towards other people. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm,
people as well they'll want the most respect. They want to be treated a certain way. But it's like,
mhm,
how was you moving? Like, was you giving that respect in order for you to want it? Was you giving that same courtesy? Was you
mhm.
being reciprocal? Like, do you deserve what you asking for?
There you go. Exactly where I was gonna go. Exactly.
That's where that hypocrisy come in at. Because yeah, I
Mhm.
could sit out here and I could point out my own personal flaws and shit, but I don't
Right
feel like
on.
I go around treating people wrong and shit like that. Like anybody, if you ask about me, like let's say, for example, on this app, right? Like if you go
Mhm,
around, you ask people about me, like my reputation, whatever the case is. I don't
mhm,
believe you're gonna find anybody who's gonna say, "Well, he ain't never did nothing to me." He always, like I ain't never had to, like if he been pretty much solid with me, whatever the case. And anybody
right.
who say anything different than that, then I gotta be real. Then you better ask him. Okay, if you feel like he's this or whatever, then Why do you feel that way? Because I'm the type of
Mhm.
person, if I'm moving a certain way, according to somebody, it's always according to somebody. If I feel like the vibe ain't right
Mhm.
with you, then I'm gonna believe that vibe. I'm gonna believe that tap on that shoulder I'm getting. Like something ain't right with this person. I ain't saying that they
Right.
fucked up. I ain't saying that they this terrible of a person, but the vibe between you and that person. It ain't genuine like that. It ain't real like that.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
less than that, I don't want nothing to do with it.
I feel that, man. I feel that. And it takes time to get to that point, man. It's not an overnight thing where you can just instantly, get to that point where you can determine stuff within, again, one notion. It takes time. Sometimes you have to go through certain experiences and deal with people. Sometimes you have fallouts, you have misunderstandings. So how do depend again, if it's worth the situation, if it's worth mending it up with this person, you had more good times than bad, then do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But if you feel as though this is not right, again, it's about you. It's about how you operate. Some people want chaos, some people want order. You know, what side you on?
Hmm. Yeah, man. I just, it's simple. Like who doesn't expect back what they put out? You know what I mean?
Right,
But every
right.
some people that do be saying that, it's like, but you wasn't giving that for real. Like
Mhm.
anytime I get up here and I even do these type of lives, like I always kind of like touch on like just human interaction and things like that.
Mhm.
Because that's the one thing we all can relate to. I mean, I'm
Right.
sure anybody can give you a story of their positive reactions with folks, and then and their not so positive reactions with people. Everything ain't gonna be
Right on.
no damn peaches and creams, and ain't supposed to be like that all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's that's real. That's real talk.
And technically, someone can be caught, showing a little bit of hypocrisy at any moment. People don't say it, Keith, but anybody can be
Mhm.
caught showing a little bit of hypocrisy. But the difference is some people
Oh yeah.
show that every single day. So that was always my version of what a hypocrite was, because we might feel a certain way today about a situation, and then a couple days later, we might feel completely different about it. So next time we speak on it, somebody might say, well, you had said this the other day, and they might say right there, okay, you being a hypocrite. I just felt different today. So technically, you might be able to say that I'm being a
Mhm.
hypocrite in that moment. But some people,
Right.
they embody that shit, and everything they say is hypocrisy. Everything that come out their damn mouth. I done seen shit like that, and it's like,
I
wait a
feel
minute,
you.
I can't trust a damn thing you say. If you know what I mean? Like I've seen people who they
Mhm.
swear this shit don't stink, but they
Mhm.
constantly talk so much, and they run their mouth so much, speaking fast and all of that shit, and they
Mhm.
don't they don't know how many times they done like how many times they contradicted themselves.
I
They
was
done
just
spoke,
thinking that. I was just thinking that
you know.
word. The word competition came into my head as soon as I was thinking it. You just said it. I'm like, okay.
And all you gotta do is sit there and listen. You ain't even gotta like ask them no questions or nothing. Sometimes you just let
Mhm.
people talk and you hear everything you need to hear.
Observing, yeah, man, and that's real shit right there. Again, people will reveal a lot. Just listen to them. They
Hmm.
really will. Tells you a lot about themselves, how they carry themselves, how they think, how they socialize with people. I mean, just by listening to the tone of their voice, the way that they sound, the way they use their words, all of that. You got to pay attention to all that. And dude, I'd be in the chat up doing all of that. And sometimes I could be wrong. I can't say that I get it right all the time. Sometimes I'm wrong. You know, I'm like, damn, this brother loud as hell. He hollering and cussing and snapping out. You know, but he only does that shit when he's over there with them. But when he on his own little thing, he's calm, cool, collected. So I'm like, damn.
Hmm.
Your energy shift. But you know what? That cause and effect. Sometimes change is a good thing. You know what I mean? Because today I might feel like, okay, me and Realist, we talking about this, but then later on my mind will go somewhere else. So I mean, that's good. That's showing that you're learning. You're willing to learn and adapt. Problem is when you get stuck again, when people become hypocritical because they get stuck in that talking point and they don't allow themselves. to think any other way but that one way. So now your ego's coming into play, and you're allowing your ego pretty much to run wild,
Mhm.
uncontrollable. You know what I'm saying?
Straight
So
like that.
that's where the problem comes into play, man. That's where
Oh,
the
hey, what's
problems come
going
into
on,
play.
man? Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Peace and respect to everybody in the chat. I had to come through and holler at my brother Realist. It's been a minute since I've been live on the panel with this brother. So it's an honor. It is an honor to be up here talking to this good brother, man. And I'm learning up too. I'm learning too, bro. I'm up here learning. You know, you giving me some knowledge to go with.
I can only speak off, like, hey, one thing about me, I'm always speak off my own experiences and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm. That's right.
I'm not speaking to be right or wrong. I'm just speaking strictly off of my experiences and my perspective. Like my delivery might not always be the best and shit. Like a little while ago when we were speaking on, like the whole dynamic between, men and women at times. Like
Mhm.
I put
Yeah.
my disclaimer out when I touch on topics like that and make sure people know, listen, I maybe there's men, there's women in this world. You got some decent women, you got some decent men, but you also got some ain't shit women, and you got some ain't shit men. Like we both can
Oh
be
yeah.
ain't shit at times. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. I mean, that's a logical thing to think. You know what I'm saying? Because if it takes again, it takes a negative man to create a negative woman, just like it takes a negative woman to create a negative man. And
Mm,
then it goes the other way and vice versa. So again, that's why with that, it's about again going to yourself and just trying to decide which way you want to go about things. It could be negative or positive. And it's hard. It's hard to be positive sometimes, man. Sometimes you want to get out there and you want to act wild, and you know what I'm saying. You want to go out, you know. And then there's times where they make it so difficult to where you know what I mean. So again, it's up to you and how you function, man, how you move. And like my brother Rilla said, you gotta slide accordingly. You gotta act accordingly, walk accordingly. You gotta be accordingly about things, man.
yeah. Like people would try to bring the worst out you too. You know what I'm saying? Some people like have
I'm
no other
saying,
purpose. They have no other purpose. Some people
man.
just to bring the worst side out of a motherfucker out. You know what I mean? And some of them they be masters
Yeah,
at that shit too. So that's why,
yeah.
things like emotional intelligence and shit like that is important too.
Hmm.
Like I'm the type of person, whether people can tell or not, I've always been like a natural hothead. Like, I know how to hold myself together, whatever. But as soon as that line
Hmm.
of disrespect got crossed, then if I felt like I was genuinely being disrespected, then that's when the other side of me come out. But I feel like I'm working on that because it's like the way I look at it today is like a person can. It's always it's the intention for me. It's the nerve, Like if somebody called me, a bitch ass nigga, bitch ass sucker. I don't care about the words. Some words don't mean shit. But I guess to
Hmm.
me, it's all about like it's this the nerve of you. It's like what make
Yeah.
you think that you could?
Hmm.
What make you think you could talk to me like that? What make you think I'm not a damn demon or a serial killer that can't transform? You know what I'm saying? Like you
Hmm.
don't know.
That part.
You
That
don't know
part.
what the consequences could have been behind you doing that. You just don't know. People don't think about that type
Mhm.
of shit.
No,
It's
they
the
don't.
ignorance for me. Like people, they just do the stupidest shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like they swear that they could just, just like step on folks anytime, step on people's shoes and shit anytime they want, whatever the case is, and there's nothing to come from that. But who's to say that? Who told you that? You don't know. You don't know that person like that. You don't know what that person capable of. You don't know what that
That's right.
person's background is. Because you see a motherfucker smile, you see
Hmm.
them, shaking hands and kissing babies or whatever it is. That,
Hmm.
that don't mean that person won't fuck your ass up. You don't know.
That's right. That's
People don't
right.
talk about this type of shit, man. Be
Yeah.
careful how you move. Be careful how you treat people. You know what I
That's
mean?
right, man. Yeah.
You don't get no
Yeah.
sympathy after you already crossed that line. Some people, they not even gonna cross the line. Some people will actually do a flip over that motherfucker. They do a
They'll jump
cartwheel.
over that mother.
Yeah,
Yeah, they jump over that motherfucker.
with a
Exactly.
couple extra inches to spare. You know what I mean? Like shit, for real, man.
And he said with a couple of inches to spare with it. Bro, you know what? Real shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I used to be the same way, man. Hot head, ready to just fight at any drop of the moment, man. All it took was a couple of bitch ass niggas. Now I'm ready to argue and yell and scream.
Damn.
But growing up, man, and just like getting to know me a lot more better, I found a secret in all that. It ain't even in the damn secret for real, for real. It's just sometimes people will tell you, again, if you pay attention, people will tell you who they are without them even telling you who they are.
Uh-huh.
You know, you calling me a bitch ass nigga. If anything, you're telling me that that's who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a psychological aspect. So instead of me being out here ready to match switch with a nigga to argue, to yell and holler and scream, it's a psychological thing. I can beat you with your mind. I'm with my mind. I don't have to put my hands on you. I
Right.
can beat you just by the thought process. You yelling and screaming in my face. Now, if you put your hands on me, that's a different story. I'm gonna have to kind of show you a little something different about that.
For
But if
real.
you out here just oh bitch ass nigga, if anything, you're telling me that you're the bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You talking to me, but in reality, all you're doing is introducing yourself to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a psychological aspect,
Yeah. I'm just
especially on social media. Ain't nothing but words on this
especially on
motherfucker.
social media.
Ain't nothing but words. Ain't nobody really meeting up and throwing hands. I mean, not saying it ain't possible, but it's just words. Everybody's with you. And you know what, bro? I have to say this. Why is it when brothers and sisters get mad on the app, the first word that come out their mouth is bitch?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Think about the shit. Yo, I was tickled, right? Because I think a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I'm to myself, I think. I'm like, that's got to be the first word that somebody on YouTube or social media says when they get mad. Bitch ass nigga, bitch ass nigga. That's the first word that come out. Excuse my language. I don't want to, bring all that profanity on this
Nah, you
channel
good,
and
bro. We
everything. But
talking, we vibing. Go ahead and talk your stuff.
that kills me, man. I'm like, that's the first word that come out their mouth on this. Say, oh, bitch ass nigga, bitch ass. That's the first thing that come out their mouth. I'll be bugging, dude. I'll be like, damn.
Funny.
All the words. That's the first.
It's the first word they go to, they don't know what else
Damn.
to say. You know what I'm saying? They think they be hurting somebody, whatever the case. But it's so funny how the ones they refer to as that so-called bitch ass nigga, it's like
Hmm.
you would never. The fact of the matter is, you're only getting that across because you're on the app,
Mm,
because you're on the internet.
exactly.
You got the keyboard in
Exactly.
front of you, you got the computer screen
Hmm.
in front of you,
Yep.
but this would determine if you're a bitch ass nigga yourself. Would you be able to? Would you say that? And if you were in front of that man, would you actually? Would you let him know that in his face? I feel like a lot of
Um,
people who be doing that
mm,
shit on here, let them see that person on here that they call themselves, having a beef or a situation with. I feel like a lot of them, if they would see them people in real life, they'll hit that corner running, man. I really
oh
feel.
yeah. Oh yeah. You meet him Marilla. Hey buddy, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, pal? Like, I
Right.
seen you on social media. We were very good. That was really nice. You thought I was here to fight you? Oh no, 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 no. I'm just here to shake your hand and say hello. In real life.
Change up that whole damn story, whole energy to change. That's crazy.
Yeah. The whole energy just changed. And you're like, really? You did all this wolfing on the internet. Okay, but wait a minute, but I gotta keep the people convinced. So I'm gonna put this camera right here, and I want you to kind of like stand there. So I'm gonna swing my arm, and you can turn, and like I hit you, and we
Hmm.
can play. It's just a play, bro. It's just for fun. We gotta make money, so it's just for play.
Right,
You
right. They
know?
be using that excuse. I seen people use that excuse before talking about, it's just content. We trying to make money, whatever. Nah, that ain't good enough. Uh-uh.
I'm trying to tell you, I hear that a lot, bro. I'm trying to tell you, I hear that a lot, man. That's why I don't know, man. I don't get caught up like that, but I do know that again, because I know my daughters, they listen to a lot of stuff on YouTube. They even go to my channel and be reading some of the stuff that I put on my community wall, my quotes and stuff. And I know it helps them a lot of time to hear my voice, especially when they're not near me. And it also does good because I got brothers like yourself, Keymosh, and so many other good people that are on social media that I'm very good with. And I know it does y'all some good when y'all can hear me get up here and chop it up with y'all, even if I'm not on the panel. You know what I mean? So I mean, I have a lot of reasons to be motivated to do things and put things out there, especially when you don't have. And again, it's not about an ego. I know there's not too many people that are thinking the thoughts that I think. You know what I mean? That's what makes me unique. And everybody's unique in their own way. So, I am encouraged to do something more on my channel. You know what I'm saying? And put something together. Because again, I just want people to think, become more critically thinking, and not just get caught up in titles and labels. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing.
Yeah, man. Give me another 5 seconds, Keith. I gotta grab something, bro. Hold it down for me.
Oh, you good, brother? You good, man? I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna grab my cup of coffee here, and cause I left my damn phone in my room. I'm gonna go over here and see who's in the chat. Peace and respect, everybody in the chat. Happy weekend. Positive energy, positive vibes. Pleasure talking theological. Yeah, straight right, right. That's right. Nelly Fuller Jr. is a good one. Um, who else? There's let me see here. Nelly Fuller Jr. is absolutely a good one. James Baldwin's a nice good one. There's so many good there's so many good philosophy and philosophers out there that what I mean you can look up and you can get the talking points because it's not so much about what the person done physically, because I know nowadays a lot of people are accusing, Malcolm X as an agent or this person as an agent. I mean, that can be what that's going to be in person, but it's the words that they speak and their philosophy that they put out. You got to treat that, and you got to take what works for you, and whatever doesn't work for you, you pretty much just leave that where that is. So yeah, Neely Fuller Jr. was definitely a good inspiration. I think he made the transition not too long ago either. So Brian rest in him. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of great philosophy out there, man, and it's all about uh, improving yourself and being a better version of yourself. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be about trying to relive something that's already been done because that's been done. You know what I mean? You got to move forward. If you stay back, you're pretty much just going to be stuck in that same position. Nothing wrong with um, figuring out your ancestry or your roots or your root stock. It's taking these roots and sprouting it and become something much more. You know what I'm saying? Being more fruitful. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much where my mind state is. So Malcolm X, yes, I have to totally agree. A very big Malcolm X. Malcolm X, I Malcolm X was such a big influence on me that not only did I get involved in Islam, but I also got in the 5% Nation. I don't even know if that's still a thing nowadays with the 5% Nation. Um, plus Pan Africanism and all that stuff like that. A lot of that I was influenced by Malcolm X. I mean, even to this day, Malcolm X is still my guy. Martin Luther King, I like him, but I was always big in the Malcolm X, man. Always. So yeah, stray gorillas, yeah, absolutely. Malcolm X was definitely a huge influence on my life, even to this day. That's right.
All right, I'm back again. I appreciate you, bro. You've been holding it down every time I had to step away. Appreciate you.
Oh man, look, man, this is an opportunity for me, man. I get to chop it up with my brother Realist. You don't run across too many good people. Well, you do, but people who share that same vibe. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
appreciate it, man. I'm up here learning too. Shit. You know what I mean? So it's good to catch up with you, brother, and learn some stuff from you. And we go back and forth and we share notes and we build. That's what it should be. That's what it should be. But
Yeah, man. I just stay in my own lane, man. My own vibe. Like I had made I usually don't make I don't believe in New Year's resolutions and shit like that, but I
nah, me neither,
I
brother.
had
Me neither.
made one. I had made one this time for this year that I was going to
Okay.
stay in my own lane. And
Hmm.
my thing was, if anybody I was interacting with didn't have the same vibe, the energy, if it wasn't authentic, it's like this. If you dislike me, stand on that. If you hate me,
Right.
stand on that. If you fuck with
Right.
me, stand on that. But whichever one you
Mhm.
choose, just be prepared for me to stand on the same energy that you standing on. Because some people try to cop a plea and be like, "Oh no, it wasn't like that," and all this type of shit. I'm still working on
Mhm.
myself. You understand? So I ain't all the way there yet. Can I be?
Mhm.
Let me see. Can I be a little
Mhm.
bit immature at times? Sure, I'm sure I can. I'm a grown man, but
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, I'm a grown man, and I got my own values just like everybody else. So it's like
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
I'm just it's a
Facts.
process. It's a process. People got to keep that same energy. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
And people so quick to smile and laugh and shit up in your damn face and this, that, and the third or whatever. They want to be treated a certain way, but they just don't know
Mhm.
how to return that shit back. Fuck all that. I ain't giving no passes on that shit. If
Mhm.
it's fuck me right now, this morning, at this moment, it better be
Mhm.
fuck me later on tonight too. Stand on that
That's
shit.
right. That's real shit, man. No, you know what? And I totally agree with you. The only thing, again, like I said, man, is whatever that is, don't let that be your burden too, bro. Because again, people are going to tell you who they are. You know what I mean? It ain't that's they even though they're talking about you, like, yeah, fuck them, okay, but you're really saying fuck you to yourself. You know what I
Right,
mean? You're showing me how you want to be treated. You're showing me how you want to be spoken to. And if you come to me aggressive, you're letting me know that that's what you respond to. That's something you need to work on. I'm good. So whatever, energy you got coming to me, that ain't gonna affect me because I done came from my doorway, out of my place, already with my mind set up and my armor on.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? You still trying to get your shit together. So like if you got negative energy, that's something you need to work on.
Yeah,
You know what
man.
I'm saying?
You know,
This just
I'm
yeah,
um,
man.
I'm a type of person. My mindset is always I'm a leave the ball in their court because my
Hmm.
interaction is always dependent on like I'm gonna let you how we interacting. I know I'm a respectful person. I know how to I know how to be positive. I could treat people
Right on.
with respect and courtesy and all those things. But fact of the
Sure.
matter is, we can't give everybody that because some motherfuckers ain't worth that shit.
No, they're
That's
not.
just what it is. That's the harshest way to
Yeah.
put it. Not everybody is worth giving that respect to. Their actions prove they don't want to be respected. Don't know how to be respected. They don't know how to accept that shit. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
That's what they telling me. So you say, so that's what it is. That's really you gotta tell me twice. I'm not gonna force you to want to
Hmm.
be respected. If listen,
Hmm.
it is whatever it is, man. You know what I'm saying?
And and props to you for identifying that, man. You know what I'm saying? You got enough um, critical thinking ability to identify that type of vibe in people. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Some people will get that and see that, but they'll go along again with it because it seems to be the right thing to do. This person's cool. This person's popular. This person's in with a certain group. And I don't want to be by myself. It's a scary thing to be by yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be with the group. At least I know I got backup. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna put up with the bullshit, even though I'm being disrespected and being put
Right,
down and all that. I'm gonna
right.
go with the bullshit, man. But that again, that comes with that mature level of thinking. Once you go through some shit, you're gonna realize, you know what? Damn that. I ain't going through the. If I gotta fit in with the group and be disrespected, I would rather be by myself. I'll deal with the unknown. I'll take my chances with the unknown and deal with some shit that I already know. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. I
So
was
I
always
salute you,
quick.
brothers, man. You one of the sharpest brothers on this app, man, bar none. So I
I,
salute you, brother.
I appreciate you.
Sharp, man.
I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So all I could be is, myself or whatever, I make sure
Mhm.
people know that I know how to present it to you a couple different ways. Like what we doing. I can address the topic this way. I can address the topic that way. At the end of the day, you know, I'm a nigga who grew up in the projects and the hood and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But I
That's right.
can I can speak any way we need to speak. Any way we need to have a conversation, I can have it. But I just choose to have it the way I want to have it. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
I
right.
said, like because when you're doing content, like on an app like this, like some people can't resonate with you because of how you delivering the message. So when I do
Mm,
certain type of content, I make sure I switch up my verbiage sometimes and all that, just to let people know I can give it to you however you want to give it. However you want it, I can deliver it to you. You know what I mean?
right on.
Like the word is at
Right.
the tip of my tongue. There's a word for it. I forget the word. It's at the tip of my tongue. You know what I'm saying? Probably from lack of sleep. I can't remember what the word was, but
Yeah, bro. We chopping it up here.
you know what I'm
We
saying?
chopping it up here, brother. Could the word be
Yeah.
translation? Could
Hold
that be
on.
the word?
Say that again, bro.
Translation. Could that be the word you're looking for, or that might not be it?
That's as close to it as I could think of. It was a specific word in mind. Dang, I can't think of it. It'll come to me, but my whole point is,
Mhm.
you can never put me in a box. Like
Right on.
ain't no such thing as putting me in a box. Like I know me doing the
Mhm.
battle rap thing for so long. I know for a fact that some people probably thought, that's all I could deliver or whatever the case. And I never switched it up like just because I felt like I had to, but just because I like to, show people, listen, I can do all type of different content. You know what I mean? Some people judge you
That's
off of
right.
content too. You know what I mean? People do judge you off of content sometimes. Like this is
Yeah.
so much I could talk about or whatever. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like that's why when it comes to these topics and shit, when I get on these lives, like I can transition with the quickness. I can jump from this topic to that subject to that subject to that topic. Boom.
Mhm.
All within an hour's time. I don't need a whole lot of time to get my point across on shit. You know what I
There
mean?
you go. That's real talk. And you can do it respectfully and agree to disagree respectfully. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Without getting emotional, you know what I'm saying? And being all uptight and, well, you got to hear what I'm saying. Damn, what you talking about? This is what you know what I mean? Like, what I'm saying is more important than what you're saying. So,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? You're right where you need to be, bro. You know what I mean? And I don't need to tell this, you know this. I'm just telling you something you already know. You know what I'm saying? And that's respect, man. That's absolute respect.
Yeah, like when it comes to like debates and things like that, I'll
Mhm.
never like I'm not I wouldn't debate with a person to try to get them to think that they're wrong. I'm not trying to get my point across to them that they're wrong about what they're thinking or how they feel.
Right,
I'm just
right.
debating just to get my own point across. It's like, okay, just take this
Mhm.
perspective, look at it from that perspective for 1 second, and I'll do the same. And we're gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna tell you wrong for how you feel what you're saying. I'm just saying, just
Mhm.
keep your mind open enough to hear what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to be
Right.
able. An important thing I learned too, we got to know how
Mhm.
to. I feel like us, everybody, anybody who done been through some shit in life should know
Mhm.
this already. We got to know how to be able to put ourselves in other people's shoes, man.
Absolutely. 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 That's definitely something that you should be able to do. And even with that, bro, and you would agree with this, it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it takes time for people to reach a certain stage in their life where they find themselves being more accountable and responsible for their actions, let alone their thoughts, but their actions in order to get to that stage where they can communicate. You know what I'm saying? And they can speak and they can also see where other people's coming from. And we just like right now, brother, somebody can come in and think, oh shit, Realist and Rafe, they debating. When actually we're just talking and we're going back and forth and we're sharing ideas. Neither one of us are yelling or over talking each other or screaming or threatening each other. This is an exchange of words and opinions and thoughts, which is what a debate should be. Not a screaming match, not a yelling match. All that is just some ego WWF type bullshit that's going on. You know what I mean? Me and
Mhm.
you were actually having a conversation. So we're sharing information, opinion, life experiences. That's what a debate should be. So whoever's listening to me and you, they may resonate with me more, they may resonate with you more, but they're hearing both of us. So they're hearing the left brain and the right brain, brother. I
Right.
don't know. This coffee's kind of getting to me, bro. So I'm starting to, I don't know. I'm starting to drift a little bit, but they're hearing left brain, they're hearing right brain. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you determine which way you want to go. But at the end of the day, you got two good brothers up here with nothing but respect for one another without
Definitely.
screaming or threatening each other. And we come in with peace, you know what I'm saying? And we come with something that can not only work for us, but work for you as well. You know what I mean? So uh, do it as I will. That's what I say. But again, it's always great
Right.
getting up here talking with you, brothers. It's always good to get up here with you, bro. For real.
Nah, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, everybody know I don't do the panel thing like that, and like my way of doing it is always like I'm one of the most spontaneous people when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it all depends on how my mind is flowing at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'll just say, okay, you know what? I feel like talking a little bit of shit right now. It'd be 6 o'clock in the morning. I feel like talking a little bit of shit. Boom, let me get up there and let me do it. It's not a regular thing for me. I don't. Like I say, I gotta have some shit to say. I understand when I come on live, I'm gonna have some shit to get off my chest. Not because ain't nobody's angry or mad, anything like that. Use the word passionate. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
you know,
No doubt. And you know what? And shout out to Stray Gorilla, if I must say, thinking for oneself is way harder than people think, and that's real. That's real talk. Thinking for yourself, your self work is always going to be the hardest work. Once you get a good grasp of that, in my opinion, dealing with other people will start to become a little bit easier because you can identify better. You know what I'm saying, but anything dealing with the self is always going to be a hard thing to do, especially in a society that keeps you from looking at yourself. So I feel him 100% on that one. Word.
yeah, man, for sure.
They said people mad at Trump, but he got people slapping. Yeah, he does. I mean, I'm not a big Trump person. I don't like
You know
neither
what, man?
politics, but gotta
I'm
give
not
him
gonna
his
lie.
dues.
I'm
Hmm.
not gonna lie. I never, and that I think that was one of the things that I was gonna speak on originally because I'm not. I'm not a political nigga like that. And I don't even like talking about politics like that because it seems like it's never nothing good happening. When you talking about politics and you talking about the press, it's like it's never really nothing good to talk about. Some people might agree, but some of the shit that be going on, but I never find myself agreeing because I thought the whole purpose of a president was for him to do for his people, to add on to what his people already
Hmm.
got going on, not to make it worse and shit. And like ultimately, me paying
Right.
attention to it, I'm like, well, damn, no. I remember when the nigga got shot in his damn ear, people was going back and forth about if it was fake or not, whatever the case. I was like, well, damn, why they trying to get Trump up out of here? Looking at it now. I mean, well, damn, no wonder niggas is trying to get you up out of here. And this nigga got the nerve to be talking about a third term. Motherfucker, you be lucky if you make it through this one. You
Damn,
talking
I'm
about
trying to tell
a
you,
third, like
I
what? You
guess
talking
he
about the
forgot.
third time? Imagine this mother.
Mhm.
Come on, bro. Let me tell you something. I'd rather have Obama
Mhm.
back, bro. Honestly, if we talking about third terms, I'd rather have Obama back. On some real shit, I would rather have a president who people say didn't really do much than to have a motherfucker who wake up every day looking to do some bullshit, just on some dictatorship. Ain't no motherfucking president. This nigga on some dictatorship. You out here trying to really make it worse for people, bro. He not thinking about the shit that he for. Actually, he is thinking. And this fucking
Yeah, yeah,
Elon Musk
yeah.
nigga, this weird ass nigga Elon Musk, like, where the
Uh-huh.
fuck this
Yep.
nigga come from, bro?
Uh-huh.
Weird ass reptilian looking ass motherfucker, man. The fuck?
See, it's both sides, man. I heard people tell me, see, it wouldn't be this way if Kamala Harris was in office. I'd be like, it's the same shit. The only difference is it will be a woman doing it.
Right. And that's why I
So
don't
if
vote, Keith. That's why I don't
no, I
vote.
don't either.
You
I
got
don't
two
either.
you got two pieces of shit basically. So it's like,
Yeah,
okay, you got the shit that got a little bit of sprinkles on it, and then you got the regular piece of shit. Which one you want, nigga? But they both pieces of shit. I don't vote. I
uh,
understand some people when they vote, they'll vote for the same person they already voted for. That's why he's in it. It's like I'd rather shake
yeah.
the hands with the devil I already know versus the devil I fucking don't. You know what I mean? That's what it comes
No,
down.
I feel that.
Lesser
I
of two
feel that.
evils, shit. Come on, man.
You know what? I don't even play that lesser than two evil shit. If I'm gonna vote for somebody, I'm voting for my motherfucking self, bro. I'm just saying. If I'm gonna vote, I'm voting for me. You know what I'm saying? In other words, I ain't getting up. I ain't wasting no time to go vote, to get out there and do this, to do that. I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and just prepare myself. Because again, you know some bullshit. You know what I mean? These people they depend on a Trump. They depend on a Kamala Harris. You know, the first woman president, first this, the first that. Eh, that sounds good for symbolism and all that. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, the politicians, this shit is Hollywood to them. This is all some WWE stage bullshit of them
Mm,
arguing. You ever seen that picture with Bush, Bill Clinton, Obama, and I forget the other one, but all of these guys were all together in a photo playing golf and shit.
mm-mm. I
Yeah, if
might.
you Google it, yeah, there was a photo that they took of them all together playing golf and shit and hanging out and stuff. But they get on stage now and they'll talk shit to run these ads all over YouTube, interrupting conversations and video sessions you're watching to put up ads and shit. And them arguing and throwing each other under the bus. But when they in front of the cameras, they out hanging out together. So it's like, damn, like this is a game. So at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, bro, I don't vote for nobody but myself. I depend on me.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just a shame, man. It's just really a shame. It's fucked up
Yeah.
as the country is. It's fucked up as the economy is and shit. I'm saying. I thought the whole point of a president was to make it better. From what I've been paying attention to, it's been the opposite of that. Unless I'm wrong, help me understand. But from what I've been seeing, that's what the fuck I've
Yeah.
been looking at. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
a president is supposed to make it better. You know what I mean? If anything, according to what I understand, because again, I don't know everything, but according to what I understand, a president is supposed to be an individual who can communicate with the general public, who can speak to the general public and give them a sense of direction and a sense of guidance. You know what I mean? So if we need certain things done as a community, it's up to that president to hear what we have to say and also work with us and help those changes happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, they say it's that way, but in actuality, it's really not. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get caught up with the Democrat Republican bullshit. It's
Yeah,
it's all bullshit. You gotta look out for yourself. And
that's a fact.
again, people are that's selfish. It's not selfish. You gotta think for yourself. You gotta save yourself. You gotta save yourself. You depending on these people, man. I'm telling you, now all these people got buyer's remorse now. I shouldn't have voted for Trump. But well, man, you wanted to make America great again. There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh yeah, he making it great again. Mm,
Uh-huh. You making it great. Yeah, he is. Hmm.
got your wish and shit. And, people don't think because when they see certain things that some of these politicians and things do, they
Yeah.
don't they don't feel no way about it because certain things don't affect them. So they'll feel like, oh, that's great, that's fucking lovely and shit. You know what I mean? But it just be like, some of these decisions end up affecting more than people even know. You know what I mean? When it come down
Real
to it.
shit.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. At this point, it's like, what's the point in even having a title, the president of the United States? What the fuck did that even
Um,
mean anymore?
I'm trying to tell you, brother. Look, real talk. I got my wake up call from Obama. His first term, not his second term, his first term.
Right.
Because I grew up all my life. Oh, we never gonna have a black president. We never gonna have this. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing this from my grandmother. I'm hearing this from my mother and my aunts and everybody. We never gonna get that. We never gonna get that. All of a sudden he come along. I'm like, oh, okay, we finally getting somewhere. We finally, can have dreams and hopes to do this. And this
Yeah,
brother's
I
gonna
was
do us
happy
right.
when it happened. I was happy. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, you know what? You know what we got out of Obama? Pull your pants up, Pookie, and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like I know this nigga, and then he turn around talking to us like we stupid. I'm like, dude, are you serious?
Mm-mm.
I work hard, go to Michigan bullshitting. You know he ain't drink that damn water. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, 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 right.
I'm like, dude, like
Damn
this.
water. I remember that shit. He's supposed to have drunk that damn water.
Yeah, he ain't drink that damn water. I'm like, this guy. Oh, Trayvon Martin, that could have been my son. Well, it wasn't your son. Even though it's easy for you to say that, but you know it wasn't your son. I don't think he has any sons. I only got all daughters, so that don't make sense for him to even say son. I don't know, man. I got my wake up call from him, bro. Ever since then, it was like, yeah, I ain't messing with these politicians. I ain't doing it.
You know the way that how I ended up looking at it. I
Hmm.
look at it like this: the most I feel like the most to be grateful for from if there's anything to be grateful for at all, as far as a
Hmm.
president goes, the most to be president for is the fact that they just don't make it worse than what it already is. Like we know they're gonna make decisions, ain't nobody gonna fucking agree with this, that, and the third. You know, I ain't expecting no president to like what make America. They talking about making America great again. I ain't expecting none of it. Make America great. Was it
Hey,
was it ever great? That's what I'm asking. That's the real question, motherfucker. Nigga, was it ever great? Tell
I
me.
don't think so. I don't think so.
Fuck you talking about. Let me
I
grab some.
mean,
Okay, I'll be right
no,
back.
you good, brother. You good. You good. Yeah. No, America is going to be America. See, again, I feel like I've been saying this over and over again, but it all depends how you see it. You know what I mean? Just like Gorilla said in the chat, the hardest thing to do is to think for yourself. That's a very hard thing to do. And yeah, it's very difficult, especially in the society that we live in. It doesn't encourage critical thinking. It really doesn't. It requires you to just go with whatever. So now you have like with Kamala Harris. You know what I mean? I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Whether male, female. If you can lead, lead. But so many women got so invested in the symbolism of Kamala Harris that they didn't really see that this woman really didn't put any real policies out there. She didn't really speak about anything that would that would be beneficial to a community besides giving you a symbolism, besides giving you an image of something. But at the end of the day, both sides are playing the same game. Both sides are doing the same thing. It's just unfortunately we as a as a as a people in this society, we're stuck in the middle of this. Some of us are going to get swept up in the current to go either way. And some of us are going to actually look at both sides and say, okay, wait a minute. Neither one of y'all really mean me any goddamn good. So therefore, we either going to get a third party going. And sure, I mean, I'm all in favor for a third party. We need something because this current thing we got, let alone the ages of people, you know what I mean? Like we need to get a little bit younger. Not that I'm against the older people, but it would be nice to get some youth to run the country.
Hold on, Keith. We got somebody up here. I think this is a old head about to jump up here. Let me let him up.
Oh,
What up?
okay,
What up?
cool.
Hey,
Old
what's
head.
your
What
name,
up?
man?
What up?
What up? What up? Figured I'd pop up, you know.
Appreciate you.
Cool.
Appreciate
Oh yeah, I like kicking knowledge and talking rational, logical, but obviously I like to do the other thing on my show.
you.
No
So
doubt.
But I like to come up here and chop it up. What's your name, Black? You dropping gems?
Oh, you talking to me, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, I go by Wraith, brother. But I go by Mr. West, but my current name is Wraith 363.
Okay. All right. All right. I seen you around. They call me old head. I be trolling sometime, but I
Oh,
like
okay.
kicking. I like kicking knowledge. I just don't do it on my show, but yeah, you guys are
No
dropping
doubt.
gems, man. The thing
Appreciate
about
it, brother. Appreciate it.
we under serious mind control programs and things like that. Serious things swing. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
CIA is known for starting a whole newspaper, starting a whole record company, just to get
Mm-hmm.
people thinking the same way.
Right.
You know, and that's why people. What I say is, thinking for yourself is a lot harder because you are seriously
Yeah.
gaslighted. When I was young, we didn't have words like gaslight,
Yeah.
which is a very
I
real
agree.
thing. You know. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Same.
and I think
Same.
yeah, that was kind of out of tricks.
Yeah. I agree. I absolutely agree.
Mm.
Absolutely agree.
Oh yeah,
Anything to take you out of your own way of thinking and functioning and using your own senses. That's what they'll do, just so you can think like the next man and you can fall for the same tricks and maneuvers. It's a ritual, you know what I'm saying? And I don't say that
yeah,
as in ritual being a bad thing. It's just these are routines. These are routines that they do. Some of us are going to
mhm,
realize it, and some of us ain't.
yeah. I mean, like Navy would have said, you're just gonna be a confused person if you don't can't see the big picture for what it is.
Mhm. That's
And
right.
then of
Right
course you
on.
decide accordingly.
Hmm.
You can't react. You can't react the way when something when the action is done against you. You can't react the way they want you to.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. One thing Neely Fuller did, he took the power out the N word. He said to totally ignore it.
Hmm.
And he's right because I know I can say and do this and make you mad. And now once you're mad, I can control all your actions.
Yep.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah, because hypnosis is just the power of persuasion.
Mm.
Exactly. Which is manipulation. Exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they do it all the time.
Do it all the time.
It-
They give you a Trayvon Martin or a George Floyd, and the first thing that we do is we start thinking about our children, our brothers, our uncles. That's
yep.
similar to a George Floyd or a Trayvon Martin, and we react. And they do that on purpose. They give us that so we can be in that emotional state of a victim of weakness. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And they sitting back laughing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're
Yeah.
stepping on your foot. And you explaining to them how they're stepping on your foot. And he's looking at you with their foot on your foot.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's a perfect analogy. Funny as hell, but that's a perfect analogy. Like
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I think it's interesting. You know, I'm not in the States right now. I'm in the Philippines, but the
Oh, okay.
yeah, there's a protest today. I'm watching it right from a way from another bird's eye view. I'm watching this protest, and it's funny how
Hmm.
black people say, "Hey man, I'm not getting in none of that." Which is they're expected to, they took down the Black Lives Matters off the street or whatever. They did this, they did that. You
Hmm.
know, scale back your probably just kicking back, and I think that's throwing their plan off. It's very interesting what's going to happen today. Sit back, watching like,
Yo, you know what?
Every day, man.
You know what?
Hmm.
Oh, I meant to ask you. Oh, how long you been over there now? How long has it been since you've been over there, bro?
5 months. I've been here since November.
Okay.
Coming home next month.
Yeah.
But it's great to watch culture, see how other people get it in and how they get it done.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I think our elders had a blueprint, but integration, things like that, the drug wars and stuff like that, it through us. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't stay focused, but what grandma and ancestors built up. The way they was getting things done, because culture is what you do and don't do during difficulty.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds like a dope experience, though. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah.
Hmm.
So it's interesting how the just speaking what they're gonna say on the internet and just dropping the mic. They're not getting up there and just being logical. I
Yeah.
think that Louis Fuller gonna really hit, man. It's gonna really hit it. It's gonna expound on it because more and more people know who he is. I know about that book years ago and never read it.
Ain't that something? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's absolute fire because it's not ain't nothing gangster about it.
No,
But the
I
book
feel
is
that.
banned from prison. If the book is banned from prison, there's nothing in it bad. Yeah, but I think the youngsters are figuring it out too. They're gonna go a different route.
As they should, as they should. I mean, you learn from history. You don't learn about history to repeat it. You learn about history to become better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they gaslighted to go to join gangs and quit school and all that. But
Uh,
um, the question is, what are warrior class age men supposed to be doing?
warrior
Instead of
age
walking
class
around, they don't
men
have a
supposed to be
purpose.
doing.
Yeah, it's a good question because they got the energy to change
That's,
things, and
mhm.
yeah, it's not
But
easy to
look,
answer
brother,
that
I'm
question.
just. It's not easy, but at the end of the day, I would believe that what anybody should be doing, regardless of what title, what label, you are, you should be able to have a good balance in yourself to be able to think for yourself. Because again, a lot of these younger people, they really watch actions. You know what I mean? Even though your words can be spoken and they can always resonate with that and keep that in the back of their mind, but they watch more of actions. So,
Yeah,
in my opinion, not only should you be able to speak the things that you're speaking, but you should be able to demonstrate by walking that fine line. Like, for example, there's so many good brothers with so much education and knowledge, and they're talking about getting land and being more self-independent and farming. It sounds good for a conversation. It feels good to hear people say that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But how many people are actually out there doing the work, who are actually
yeah.
doing it?
Yeah, I think we got
You
to
know what I'm
really come
saying?
to grips with how broke we are and how unmanned and outgunned we are.
Right. Now, that could be an actual fact, or maybe that could be a mental state to convince you that you're outgunned and you're outnumbered, when in actuality, it's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? It's, to me, I think it's more of a psychological warfare going on. You know what I'm saying? This is why they keep most of us in that victim mentality. Because if you're stuck in a victim's mentality, you're going to continue to stay
Volume drop.
in weak. Oh, did my volume drop? Hello?
Yo, what happened?
Am I here? Oh, I dropped out. Oh no, go. Oh, bro, dropped out.
Yeah. Can you still hear me, Keith?
Yeah, I hear you clear, bro.
All right. Oh, maybe go ahead. Oh, here you go. Right here. Here we go.
Someone
Yo.
called me on my homie called me on Facebook, so the volume dropped.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought I was messing up. I thought my headset was dying. I was gonna say, damn, I just charged this thing not too long ago.
Oh yeah,
But
but yeah, what warrior men from 17 to 27, 30 like that, what they should be doing, you know. And the United States, these mind control agents keep you pissed off, keep you insulted. You so insulted. Most people, I was, for example, too mad to finish college. The shit that
mm,
was going on, I
right,
wasn't told
right.
the right shit. I was not told the right shit. I'm a young combat veteran. I come home and immediately just fucking me over again.
Mm,
Or feeling, 'cause I never seen nothing like a Rodney King incident, and then they say not guilty, slapped you right in the face. Not really that nothing's ever changed. I'm thinking very naively that the world is going to be a better place.
see,
And that put me in a bad place.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
this.
since being in college, I'm drinking on the street, mad as fuck. You know,
Mm, like you
I had a
said
good, I had a
earlier,
good,
man, it's look up, brother. What you saying?
had a good time in the streets, man. But it was nothing. This idea in my head that these niggas gonna get it together. We gonna do this. Nobody wasn't trying to hear none of that shit.
Yeah, yeah. Back then, yeah, back then. And you know what? I'm gonna say this too, bro. I don't know if you're talking. I don't want to overtalk you, but I just had this thought. Probably back then when you were growing up, they didn't have all this social media and YouTubes and TikToks where people can actually communicate from one state to another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Nowadays they have this technology and
Yeah,
they have it, but it seems like we're more divided even though we have these tools where we can be talking from all over the world, but we're still divided and we're still distracted and we're even heavily more victimized with this technology.
Yeah, I think that comes back to culture.
That's crazy,
You
man.
know,
Culture.
yeah. What city
Culture.
you in? I'm from LA.
Yes. I'm in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. Go Ravens.
Hey, bro. Hey, look. Hey, look. I used to be a Jets fan. I'm originally from New York. I just been in Pittsburgh all my life, so I used to catch crap out of Steeler fans myself. So I'm not a big sports fan like I
Oh yeah,
used to be at one time.
yeah. I don't even watch sports like I used to. I'm a Lakers fan, but I'm not watching like I used to. You
Oh,
know,
see,
you know, because even gambling is a huge hustle.
all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Everything's a scam and a hustle. You're not going
And
to come up. You
everything,
know,
man.
you're not going to come up unless you be creative and come up. You know, think for yourself and put it together. And one thing black people can't
Mhm.
be doing: black people need a mob to protect their businesses. It should be a death row out there protecting businesses.
Brother, you
And
gotta
brothers,
say that one. No disrespect, brother. What you just said was absolutely explosive. Can you say that for me one more time?
black people need a mob to protect their businesses and protect their interests.
Thank you. Thank you
That's that's
kindly for that.
that's that's what
Thank
warrior
you.
class age men should be doing. It
I
should be taking
agree.
care of the OGs, take care of the youngest take care of the OGs, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And all
Even
this is,
like the
and
Italians
like you
had their
said,
crime organized.
yeah, you're right. And all this should be done by what? By physical action. It's good to get on YouTube and talk on panels and have a feel good because this is just church. Now it's just church. Everybody's coming in, hear the good word, and get their little donations and feel good for the day. Once
Hmm.
we close this app off, it's time to get the work done. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get the pyramids built. It's time to get the farms going. It's time to get this going. It's that going. These are
Yeah.
actions that need to be done. Oh, the white
Yep.
man told me back. That's a tired excuse. And I'm
Yeah.
just saying, from my perspective, blaming the white man, this man, that green man. No, you got to be
Yeah. Yeah.
responsible and
And they are
accountable
gonna
for
do.
what you do.
Yeah, they are gonna do shit, and we need to be hip to it. We
Yeah, we need to be into it. Right.
big headed and lazy over our accomplishments.
Thank
Big
you.
headed, yeah.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
yeah. But it's about bringing segregation back. Oh no, yes, start that up. A lot of people like fire that up. But I think whatever
Right.
we sell, whatever we produce, whatever we make has to be. It's not just black people. It has to. You have to get money from other people. Like you should be in good with the agents. You should be in good with the messages. And doing good business.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Uh,
mhm,
because we all know all it takes is one nigga to fuck it up.
that that's why I'm not. That's why, like Realist, I'm not big with groups just because of that. You never know who's doing what. That's why, in order to get a good foundation, you got to have that good knowledge of self. And it
Yeah.
sounds selfish and all, but once you have, like you said, if you have that critical thinking and you can think for yourself,
Yeah.
not only are you able to speak highly of what your intentions are, but your actions can even echo it even more. You know what I'm saying? Now
Yeah.
the younger pups are looking at the OGs and saying, well, my OG's actually putting in work. He's actually doing community work. He's making sure that the shorties are being taken care of, you know what I'm saying? And they got food to eat and a place to go.
Yeah.
But you
Things
got
like that.
OGs, right? But you got the OGs acting like the young pups. You know what I mean? They want to do what the young pups is doing to fit in.
I might be
No, you're gonna
naive.
have to laugh at that.
The thing with Big U say he might have had Nipsey kill is that's hard. That's too hard. It's far fetched for me to believe. But they did
Mm,
have they did have arguments and they were going back and forth and stuff like that. But to say that he had him killed is
mhm.
that's the ultimate crabs in the barrel.
Right on.
And if that's
Wow.
true, man, if that's true, man, it should actually kill gangbangers. Nipsey was an activist. But on the other
Well,
hand, I think as a conspiracy theorist, there's no one with black influential power that's alive today to dispute anything things that are going down. There's no Kobe Bryant. There's no one who's going to speak out with enough power and influence that's black. They're all gone.
Well,
And this
yeah.
he definitely
You got to
would
be.
have been speaking out against, the things that are going on today.
Maybe you would have, but at the end of the day, you got to be your own inspiration. You got to be your own influence. Because
Yeah.
if you don't have enough courage to raise your own voice, if you can't do it for yourself, don't expect somebody else to do it. And if they do it, they might not do it the way you want it to be done because you're relying on somebody else to do it for you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
everybody should
saying?
have the same goal. I mean, everybody got the same problem. People
Yeah, yeah,
you said earlier about Pan Africanism. You Fuller said, well, we're all being treated the same worldwide.
yeah, that's true.
That's that's Pan Africanism right there. You know,
That's
but black
true.
people, man, I love being black, but black people are a mess.
You know what? And highly respect to you for saying that because a lot of us have so much pride that and again, it's not even just the Pan Africans, it's the Aboriginals. There's so many different communities that I've went to and I've learned a lot of informational stuff. And it made me want to research my lineage. And it sounds good to look back, but what does that do for the here and the now? What does that do to help me become a better father on top of what I'm doing to be a good father
Well,
for my daughters and my son?
yeah, it
You
makes
know what
you
I'm saying?
it make yeah, but understand
Mm.
you got to understand which tree you are in the forest.
Right.
Yeah, so that's where you got to know the ugly stuff, you know. But also read
Oh,
about
that's
other cultures and what other cultures did.
right.
And there's a book called The Complete Art of War. Not that children's book they sell in the United States by Ralph Sawyer. It has chapters in there that they don't even sell in the United States. One being called The General's Virtue.
Mm.
Oh
Hold
my
up.
goodness. That chapter is deep. That chapter is
Let me
deep.
see.
It's perfect. But Ralph Sawyer, The Complete Art of War.
I don't have that, but I do have Sun Tzu's The Art of War, and I have that actually got me over here looking at my library here that I got. What's the name of that damn book? I have The Black Art of War. Let me see here.
Oh,
The Black Art of War, Hannibal's 99 Truths by James W. Peterson III.
well, that sounds
That's
like
a good book
fire,
to
boy.
read too.
Mm.
I, I got a crazy library of books I've been picking up, man. But I'm gonna have to look up for that one because I don't think I quite heard that one that you just spoke of, my
Yeah,
bro.
I don't trust American publishers because when I got a hold of that book, I'm like, how come this book is not? How come this chapter is not in the one that's the popular version?
Mm,
I mean, see, if I get a book on Egypt, right, I'm about to get it from an Egyptian. If I get a book on China, it has to be written by a Chinese man because these American publishers will omit the
mm.
pertinent information that's really useful.
That's true. You know what? You know what else I discovered? A lot of these American publishers, some of them actually know their stuff, so they actually put information out there, and they get pushback. They get in trouble behind it. But then you got other ones who write books and publish stuff, and it's usually regurgitated mess. You know what I'm saying? So you got to also study the people who are putting out the books. You know what I mean?
I have a
Sometimes
book,
they're Mhm.
yeah, I have a book called The History of Asia, and I'm reading I read the whole book. I read the little small print, all that. And this book is
Mhm.
not to be sold in the Western Hemisphere. I was like,
I
wow,
def-
it's full of information, man. It's just loaded with vitamins.
oh yeah, like I said, there's all kind of hidden stuff out there, man, and it's up to you to be curious enough and wanting to know enough, that is, to do the research and find this stuff. Otherwise, they just gonna give you a Donald Trump and a Kamala Harris and a this movie, that movie, the Matrix, the this, the that, the men versus the
Yeah,
women. The same old loop over and over again, man.
they got everybody on this space alien stuff, right? Space aliens were introduced in movies. It was introduced
Yeah.
through television. It wasn't. No one's ever said anything about a space alien or anything written in any books about that
Mhm.
beforehand. And why does it only happen in the United States?
Hey, hey, here's one for you. Why is it that we know so much? When I say we, I'm mostly talking about them, but just say we as humans. Why
Yeah,
do we seem to know more about the outer space, but not so much about the oceans? You know what I'm saying? We know
yeah.
plenty about the space and the universe and the stars, but nobody seems to get a good understanding of the oceans and how deep that goes.
Oh yeah, I
You
seen
know
the
what I mean?
I was watching one of the nature specials. They got a spot in the ocean where the water's like 5,000 degrees or some crazy temperature, right? And it
Something
had animals
crazy.
living in there. I'm like, whatever living down there probably having a pretty good life. Like messing with
Yeah.
that.
SpongeBob might be down there.
Oh yeah. It was like a shrimp,
Right?
you know what I'm saying? On the bottom of,
Mhm.
if the water went deeper, but who knows what's down there? It'll melt a submarine, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you're
And then they
right.
find it could be whole cities down there. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, but we
Yeah,
know
but
plenty about the stars and the universe and the skies. Which, just don't get me wrong, it's good to know. But being that we need water, and I think 95% of our body is water. I mean, so you would think
yeah.
that would be a bigger study.
Uh-huh. Have you ever seen the Animatrix?
The Animatrix. I don't think I have. The
It's on.
Animatrix.
Yeah, Animatrix, the Renaissance Part 1 and 2. You can catch it on YouTube. It's way deeper than that Skynet. It tell you how really bad shit could
Mm.
get.
Okay, you see, you giving me some information, brother. Now you give me homework to do. I appreciate that.
Hmm.
All right. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna tap in on that one. Animatrix. Okay.
I'm gonna
And
look at
that
that.
book too, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that Hannibal book.
Yeah, the Black Art of War, Hannibal's 99 Truths by James W. Peterson.
James W.
Very
Peterson.
good
Okay,
book,
because
man.
yeah, because imagine 60 elephants coming over the hill. You've never seen an elephant before.
Hmm. That'd be crazy, man. And see, and between the Art of War by Sun Tzu and the Black
Yeah,
Art of War, I like to take both books and I like to go back and forth, meaning I compare notes. I don't just read the book cover to cover. I go to chapters and I pick out what chapter speaks to me at the moment. And then when
yeah,
I
yeah,
read that, I go to the other book and I try to compare notes. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, and even Philip does that. He said he'll put the book. He'll do like he'll flip a page, and just read that paragraph out of it. Keeps his mind where it's supposed to be.
See what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's where I'm at with it. And that's what I try to, I don't want to say I encourage because I don't want to force nobody to do anything that they don't want to do. But it would be good if we had more men and women, especially within our community, to be more critical thinkers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Be able to see through the
and
veil of shit,
you
man.
can't judge a book by its cover because you never know who's a critical thinker or not. I seen this homeless dude on the internet just kicking crazy knowledge,
Yes.
man. Forgot his
Yes.
name, but yeah, in
Mhm.
school I was a C student.
Mhm.
I consider myself math illiterate.
Mhm.
I can't think logical mathematically, but I can think logical creatively.
There you go.
Yeah, my time I saw in literacy and art and things like that.
Yeah. Like I said, we all have gifts, man. Some of us are very articulate. Like me, I was told that I'm very articulate. Like I have a way with putting words together and saying certain catchphrases and stuff.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
don't get me wrong. Is that
Well,
what
being
you saying?
logical or being logical is being able to articulate your words. Very important.
Right. You know what I'm
But
saying? Right.
people get mad and just start cussing, not even because they can't articulate.
Hey, see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
hmm So that's where critical thinking comes into play, because then you can take what you're saying and you can, add extra layers to it without making it too complicated for somebody to, comprehend what you're saying. And you don't have
Hmm.
to be disrespectful about it. Like this whole time, we're going back and forth, we're talking, you know what I'm saying? And nobody's over talking or yelling or screaming or making threats. We going back and forth. And I'm I feel like I'm a student up here. I'm learning something from both of y'all right now. You know, and
So,
I appreciate
well,
it.
I'm 50. I'm in my 50s.
Oh, you in your 50s?
So,
Okay, I'm in my 40s.
okay, yeah. They call me old head. I be online mostly trolling and talking shit to the youngsters, cussing people out, stuff like that. But I can talk like this.
Yeah.
I can be into the internet on some hotel shit.
Yeah, old head, he could be a fool when he want to be, but old head got plenty of sense and knowledge, man.
Yeah. Last
That's
night,
it.
for example.
Okay. That's that Joker. That's that Joker card right there. You know what I'm saying? He a fool, but behind that foolishness, there's a lot of knowledge behind it. You know what
Plenty
I'm
of
saying?
Yeah,
sense. Yeah.
That's that Joker card right there. I could dig it.
yeah. Oh yeah. I believe in somebody said I'm a smash on the gas my whole life and I ain't leaving nothing in the tank when I'm gone. I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
No-
I
yeah,
like
when I
that.
was young in the army, I was airborne, hit the ground running when I got out the army.
Damn, like that. Man, well, salute for that service, man. Salute to you.
Definitely.
Thank you, thank you for thanking me. But when I got out the army, they didn't give a shit about what I did.
Mm,
I was even told by
yeah.
a family, that's your choice. That was your choice to go do all that shit. But my thing is, my brother joined the army. I was in college. I did a 1 year of college. When he graduated medical school, I went down there to go see to the graduation. Right, it was in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm seeing jets
Okay.
flying and people marching and shit. But fuck all that. Them niggas had money.
Yeah.
Okay, them niggas had money. I'm like, y'all got. He went to the club. He buying drinks. All that. I'm like, man, fuck.
Hmm.
I didn't have a
Go
goddamn
get
penny.
that.
Them niggas paying for. Yeah, I'm like, I went home and signed up immediately. Fuck this shit. I ain't sitting around to get shot by a nigga.
There you go. You
And I
found
was
a
having
way out,
problems
and
in
that's
my
good.
neighborhood. Yeah, I'm having problems in
Hmm.
my neighborhood. People, people you grew up with, right? All of a sudden they talk about their bloods and all this shit.
Yeah.
Which immediately, people Bloods and Crips is the blood disrespected the blood disrespects normal civilian, and that guy's gonna turn into a Crip. The Crip sock somebody, that guy's automatically gonna join the rival. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's what
Right.
fuels.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. And this one dude, I ain't gonna say his name. He said he from neighborhood Crip. He said this is how he got started. He was going to the store, and he's probably 17, 18. He gets sucked by a 30-year-old man, and so he immediately joined the rival gang. That
Yeah.
part, yeah, the bullying and shit.
Yeah, the bullying and needing protection and stuff like that. I mean, again, that's just, again, society will do all kind of things to put you in a situation where you're no longer thinking for yourself or defending yourself or doing anything for self. They'll tell
Yeah,
you if you do something that's for self, that's considered a bad act, which in actuality it's not. You see these politicians and them, they're constantly doing for self. And look what they're doing. While we're left playing victim, fighting and bickering over each other about some shit. You know what I mean? That it really ain't
yeah,
benefiting none of us.
yeah.
You know what I
As a
mean?
collective, we should understand politics, but we shouldn't be politically active, politically involved in something in it for us. Which is why today
There
is
you
so
go.
interesting. I'm going to see the
Yeah.
speeches and shit they're going to say, and how they going to be embarrassed to say, well, this black leader said this, and this black leader said this, and this applies. You see how it go today.
Uh, uh, hmm.
Yeah,
Telling
you
you,
can
man.
go.
That's why.
Ain't no Susan B. Anthony quotes going down today. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, you never know with these damn politicians, man. That's why. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I listen to stay informed of what's going on, but at the end of the day, man, look, I could care less. I got. I'm on a mission. I'm trying to live a purpose, and I got things I got to
Yep,
do. And I
yep,
got my children, my daughters, and my son. I mean, I play a huge influence on them. So whatever actions that I make, it's definitely going to affect them too. So I can't
yeah,
be taken off course. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. You got to balance. You got to balance everything out.
That's the word I'm looking for, my brother. Balance. That's where I try to live on. It ain't easy to do that. Just like you said, it ain't easy to think for yourself. It ain't easy to be balanced. especially in a
Yeah,
society that teaches you from a young childhood on up to be off balance. You have to be on the left side or you have to be on the right side.
yeah. I'm actually a Taoist.
Crazy,
You
man.
ever heard of that? Taoism?
Yes, yes. I study also a little bit of Daoism,
Yeah,
esoteric stuff. I'm an occultist, so I study pretty much everything. You
yeah.
know,
I've been a Taoist for like 20 years, man. Because the Bible wasn't answering my
yeah,
philosophical questions, and so I kept
my
looking for
man.
different religions and stuff. And I'm in the library. I'm a pissed off nigga in the library, and I came across this book, the Tao. And that's the origins of kung fu.
Daoism.
All of that,
Yep.
all of that.
Organism. Yep.
Yep, that's where kung fu comes from. And it
Hmm.
says the most important thing in the world is balance. Where Christians tell you the most important thing in the world is love.
Love is a part of the equation. Love and hate, it goes together. It balances
Oh
just
yeah,
like light and
oh
dark,
yeah,
day and
yeah,
night. Everything has its
yeah.
accordances, balance.
It explains that you can never completely stomp out good, and you can never completely stop on evil. It will just start again somewhere else.
Right. And love cannot conquer evil, you know what I'm saying, or hate, should I say, without destroying itself. It has to be a 50-50 scale. It has to be a balancing scale. One can't exist without the other, just like man cannot exist without one man. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's
No matter
different
how they try
opposite
to.
sides of polarity that equals a balance in both scales. If if I can say it
Mm-hmm.
that way, you know. But
Yeah,
that's what led me into the whole occult aspect of things. And it's not about worshiping devils and all this crazy shit like that, because that's shit that they
no,
say to keep people
yeah.
from researching the shit. I mean,
A cult just means hidden.
it means hidden, right? That means
Yeah,
hidden. And it's up
yeah,
to you to do the research to discover the hidden
yeah.
and try to get away from traditional systems that you grew up with, like you said, culture. Certain cultures you grew up in, some people are comfortable, so they stay within that culture limits. Then you have some, like myself, I was always curious. My mind was always wanting to know, always wanted, just like you said, you had questions that religious systems didn't provide for you. You know what I mean? So you
Yeah,
went out and research on your own to
yeah,
find the answers, and you found them.
yeah. We didn't have we had a library, but everybody. Hey, racism is Satanism.
Mm, well,
Why don't the Christians just call it what it is?
well,
You know,
based on the Christian mythology. Because if you think of, well, I don't want to throw too much of that because I kind of look at things from a both scale. If anything, Satanism, that according to what I've understood, was more about being the adversary. So being the opposite of what order is. One is chaos, one is order. Society teaches you to go by order, but they shame those who bring chaos. Well, without chaos, there's no change. So when you're looking at like Satanism, Luciferian, and when you're looking at those things, it's really about looking inside of yourself and dealing with that darkness within yourself. Once you can find a way to work with that and get a good balance with that, then you'll find the light. But in order to get that light, you have to go through that darkness.
yeah,
You know.
yep. It's a challenge.
So I
Everyone's
wouldn't.
challenged with that. Yeah,
Right, right, right. So I mean, you could say Satanism is a bad thing. It could be, or it could be a way of being self-empowered and understanding that
I
I
think
mean,
it's
being rebellious can do you some good.
yeah. But what are you rebelling against? But it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Because I think, or I come to the realization that racism or white things happen the way they happen because there's an image of a white Christ, right? Who sees abortion, in
Right.
other words, right?
Caesar born.
Um,
Right.
um,
Right.
so if they're putting um, God and they putting the face on God like that, and it's white, what does that leave black people to be emotional, dumb, all these
Mhm.
things, to be niggardly, to
Well,
be dumb,
you're right.
emotional,
You're right.
um, unreasonable. And our evil is different from their evil because they're sitting on a high horse.
Right.
Yeah, as long as you don't,
Well,
long as you don't know and you're not thinking, you're not a threat to
mhm,
them.
right. That's
It's
that's
just
that's
like
my
that.
whole point. Because
Yeah.
you say
So
there's
George
white. You
Floyd,
say,
yeah,
go
because
ahead, brother. I
they
mean,
can, yeah, look at all these niggas ride over this crackhead George Floyd.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Because we look at him as a human being, they look at him as just a pawn.
Pretty much. Pretty much. There's a George Floyd. There's somebody going through the same situation right now as we speak that George Floyd went through, but they're not getting the attention or the media coverage. You know what I'm
Nope.
saying? So they pick and choose who they display and who they want to be put out there as a pawn, so people can react to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. And people are being more logical about how they. I mean, they're not gonna be acting a fool over the next crackhead. And it's
No, no,
completely
they won't.
completely innocent
No,
getting
they won't.
killed.
Mm-mm.
And then I
Absolutely.
get,
And how you said that there's a white version of Christ, of Jesus, if you will. You know, you can paint
uh,
Jesus black. It's still the same thing. It's the symbol that you're looking at. People see the image of a black person or a white person. If anything, you're supposed to look at the symbol and what it symbolizes. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I got an interesting concept I learned in the Egyptian Book of Life.
Okay, I think I got that,
By
my good brother. But go ahead.
yeah. But my version by Ramses Salim is written by an Egyptian guy. It says that
Oh, okay, okay, that's right. Yeah.
you have the plant world. The plant world is suffered by the insect world. The insect world is
Mm-hmm.
suffered. The insect world is suffered by the animal world. The animal world
Mm-hmm.
is suffered by the human world, and the human world is suffered by gods.
Okay. Yeah, everything has its balance and everything has its place, right?
Yeah, yeah. And what suffers the God world?
Hmm.
That's an interesting concept. There's a lot of knowledge in
That
them
is interesting.
tombs, boy. A lot of knowledge in them tombs, boy. They ain't gonna let us know.
Mm. That's a good concept right there. Yeah, that stuff. Damn, man, I could get up with you with some books, man, and you be getting them good ones too. I can tell.
Oh yeah, but I try to be potent.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it's but that yeah. Once I saw that one book, the Book of Asia said not to be sold in the United States and Canada or some Western. You know what I'm saying? I said, wow.
Western civilization. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. There's some knowledge out here. We live in a knowledge bubble.
Yeah.
So that
Pretty
yeah,
much.
the book yeah, my dad was version. I got it from a Chinese guy. He was in prison in China, and then he came to Hawaii, and he and he, and
Mm.
he he explained it so nice. It just blew away the English versions. I mean,
The
it just
Western
blew it away.
philosophy.
Yeah,
Wow. See, that's the
his name is Lao Tzu, not to be
Lao
confused
Tzu.
with Sun Tzu. Yeah, not to be confused with Sun Tzu. But
Wow.
China's what? China, what, 10,000-year-old civilization, something like that. It's like the year
Yeah.
8,000 or
Yeah.
something, 6,000 or something. Where America like 2,000. And I mean, y'all
Mm.
sure you want to talk to these people?
Mm. Yeah. You raising a good point, my brother. You definitely raised a good point, man.
Yeah, they everybody
Mm.
wasn't a business war with China. Boy, you sure?
Mhm. China a little bit too thorough. You know what I'm saying with
Yeah,
their shit. That's be
everybody was
honest.
trading with
They're too
China.
thorough.
Yeah, everybody bought their patents to China. They just copied them. They got no respect for your patents. Because if you're using them, they say, well, if you're using me, that's cool. But if I
Hmm.
use you, don't cry.
That's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
you send a patent, they mass producing that product, they take the patent, copy it, and sell
Hmm.
that somewhere else. They got mad over that.
Yeah, they got mad. See, and I was gonna ready to ask what's Realest at because I ain't hear him talking. It's just me and you, brother, building. I'm like, where Realest at?
Yeah, I'm sitting here listening to y'all, go back and
Hey,
forth. Pick up some things
hey,
from y'all.
hey, that's how he slide, man. He be listening.
Yeah, that's what he be doing. That's what he does. He act accordingly.
Yeah, I was
What
picking
he
up
Yeah.
does in the
from
country.
y'all, man. Y'all was dropping some
And,
knowledge. I had,
Brutus could write a book on peeping game.
Nah, word, but yeah, that's the whole concept, man. I totally agree. It's a lot of this information that's out here, man. They don't want us to have it, so therefore they'll demonize it and put it in a category of something that's evil or whatever you may be, just to discourage you from looking further. And then they'll give you something else just to make you feel good and make you feel as though you're getting something when actually you're not. So
Yeah.
it's a warfare. And I ain't gonna front. When I started, that doesn't mean that I'm a religious person, but once I started studying a lot of different demonologies, I started to kind of
Mhm.
see certain things, what I mean, come into play. And it was like, okay, now I see why they don't want us to read these type of books and get into this information. And then they throw jokers up there, like what's his name? What's that dude's name? Charlie or Charles something.
Charles White.
No, what's that guy that had that little group, that little cult group, and he had them drink some shit and kill them or make sacrifices of themselves, or
Oh, in Africa. Oh, yeah. Two guys survived that. Hey, if you want to hear, do you know about Victor of RWS? That's where you can find Neely Fuller's lectures.
yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, you know what? Nearly Fuller Jr. Yeah, you made that comment in the chat. Yeah, Nearly Fuller Jr. was actually really dope, really dope.
Man, he the best.
I'm gonna
He
have
just
to.
passed probably 3 months ago.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I,
he did like
I,
3 months
I
ago.
asked him a question one time. I asked him a question one time that I was. He said I could be right. That's what he said. I corresponded with him, not personally. You could call up and talk to him. You can ask him questions, but um, I
Mm,
sent an email in, and they took my email.
okay, I'm gonna have to tap into that. And have you ever heard of Bobby Emmett? You ever heard of him before?
I heard the name, but I haven't heard
You should check out some of his lectures. He's the one that kind of Bobby Hemmett. He's the one that kind of took me to a different level and made me kind of become more curious. There's Bobby Hemmett, there's Phil Valentine. Like most of it's in the conscious community type thing. And when I heard these brothers, it encouraged me to
him.
kind of go a little further. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So check
Please,
out some, and there's some of their lectures are on YouTube. So you definitely look them up.
want to say hi to my friends? It's my man Andre, my bodyguard.
what's
Oh yeah,
going on?
oh
Hey,
yeah.
what's going on?
Philippines is dope. They have they, people might say that they're racist, but or this and that, but it's not true because the original Filipino is I've seen them myself. They're called Itas, and they're Filipino. Look Asian. They black like Blackanese. You know what I'm saying? And they have afros,
Mhm,
hair like mine and yours. When
mhm.
I seen that, I said, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
I was
mind
blown
blowing.
away. Yeah.
Yeah,
So they got to have them in China. They got to have them in other places too. But
no doubt.
they're they've been colonized all that. Matter of fact, me and my wife have
Yeah.
debates talking about the black struggle. She said, at least that didn't happen on your land.
Mhm.
But as far as happening on my land, it was done by black people.
See that? See that? Yeah, you'd be
Yeah,
amazed, man. That's another thing that I've been thinking about. Not that I can do it at the moment, but thinking about getting out of America and going to other countries, because once you go to other countries, you start to find yourself getting that indoctrination of America. You start to get that kind of like broken off you, because now you're seeing things from a broader scale. Versus here in America, they just feed you certain. That's like you said, certain books can't even come here. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I'm a book person. I'm getting my hands on all kind of books. I don't care what it is. If the cover look crazy and it look all evil and demonic, I'm buying it and I'm reading it. Just
yeah.
because they
That's
told
what
me
we're
not
talking
to
about.
read it.
Yeah, I had what book was that? The Necronomicon.
Necronomicon. That's right. That's a good
It's a
book.
book. It was the Book of the Dead, right? But I didn't read it
He
because I was gonna
definitely
buy it, but yeah. Oh no, this was some superior shit. And I
Oh,
said,
okay,
then
that's right.
it said, what it said, for the first paragraph was like, you got to have a strong belief and all this kind of shit. I just put the book down, man. I'm already a Taoist. That's what I believe in. But it was
I can
to me.
dig.
I found it. I don't know the word gas. Thanks. I don't know the word gaslighting, but um,
Mm.
that's what I thought that it was doing. Hey, man, all these churches started by Masons. The Mormon
Yeah,
church, and they also started the Ku Klux Klan. That's the devil hiding in plain sight. These Masonic fraternity. Like you do it for the fraternity, right? You get the job, and then after a couple of years, hey, you wanna get a little deeper in this. That's the devil's hierarchy. Masons and um, Illuminati and all that shit.
let me say I have a perspective on that too. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Because again, a lot of these secret societies, and I'm not saying that this is good or bad, take it as you will, but when you do the research on certain secret societies, a lot of it is based off spookism. So therefore, again, just like the books, they keep you out of it so you don't research. When you look at the Illuminati, what do you hear? Illumine. What is illumine? To illuminate, which is to highlight. You know what I'm saying? So I would assume that the Illuminati is based on highlighting different thoughts and ideas. But then there's other
Yeah, but is it like?
unions. Say again, bro.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
What
ahead.
you say? No, I was just saying
No, go ahead.
within these societies, you have those who are doing the things that's based off what the society is. But then you have other people within the society who have certain agendas, and they're the ones who seem to cause all of the chaos and the confusion, and they're the ones who
Is it
get the
an
most
agenda?
recognition.
Is it an, yeah, but is it an agenda or a mission?
Well, it starts off as an agenda. You know what I'm saying? Because then there's the ego that comes into play. Everybody wants to have power. They feel as though, I've been in this group for so long. So now my agenda is to be the best in this, group or whatever it may be. So the mission turns out after you build that agenda, you start to build yourself saying, okay, now that I got this knowledge, I should be the best in here. So now the mission is to break off and have my own faction. So now you have in-house fighting. So when you hear Mason, you hear first thing you think of is something evil. When in actuality, if you look at the Freemasons, what it is just a brotherhood that comes together that is skilled based off of lumber and building and creation. But most
Can
don't
you
understand that. They just see, yes,
can you hey, Size, can you play videos on your show? There's
who
a show called The Truth Is. You heard of that? Have you heard of The Truth Is?
the truth is, I'm gonna have to check that out. If there's a
That's on
show, if
YouTube.
it's a show,
Yeah,
the
he going
truth
hard.
is,
Yeah, he
okay, I'm
going
gonna
hard.
look that up.
Yeah, I
He
should
going
make
hard on
sure
you.
y'all like subscribe and connect to each other, man. You know how that go.
Yeah, we definitely gonna link up, my brother. I'm definitely gonna link up with you and subscribe.
You got,
Because
you got,
again,
you got
I'd like
Instagram?
to. No, I don't have Instagram. I'm just on YouTube. That's the only social media I have. I don't try to get caught up too much with too many social media apps.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely on
Yeah.
YouTube. So I'm gonna
Yeah, rest
subscribe to you,
in
brother,
peace,
because
man.
Oh, Snake
definitely
got
trying to
good.
get
Yeah,
the.
but hey, Realest knows when you go to my show, I'm not talking about none of this.
Yeah. Hey, whatever you do, brother. I just like to see again when we get together like this. I prefer to have this, even if your whole thing is to troll and to clown around. It's good to have moments where brothers can actually communicate and talk to each
Yeah,
other
a
without
lot of people don't. A lot of people don't even see me talking like this. I just do this for
nah.
real because
Like
niggas fly accordingly. I
there you
trust y'all.
go.
Like
And
if we
see,
was in the same house, we was in the same house having this conversation. I know that no one's gonna steal nothing out of my house or hate on me or no
there you
funny shit.
go.
You know.
Yeah,
There
and
you go.
Realist can actually let us go because he knows that we're genuine and we're not going to bring any kind of
Oh
poison
yeah.
or
Hey, wait,
toxic mentality to his channel to get everything messed
yeah.
up. So he can just chill like that. Some people, man, they let their panel
Hey,
just
wait,
run
what city
rampant.
you
You
in?
be like, damn.
What
You
state are
talking
you
to
in,
me or you?
Realest?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
What state I'm in? New York.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, man. You know what I'm saying? You got that. You know your voice. You sound like Nah, let me not troll.
There you go. He already cooking, cutting up already. We need that though. We need the humor though. That's good though.
It's all good.
Oh yeah, my show. I just blow steam because I don't want nobody to take me so serious.
Oh, I got you.
I'll go in there and get roasted. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because and in reality, I'm
Mhm,
really full of code. And yeah,
mhm,
I got many interests. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in a bubble. I gotta, like I said, I'm trying to live life. You know, because Malcolm X said this in his book. I learned this in junior high. Malcolm X said if another culture is doing something better than you, find out what they're doing.
mhm. Exactly. Exactly.
That's not competition, or that's not in a malicious way. You know what I'm saying? Find out what they're doing.
Mhm.
So I'm being
Yeah.
looking to be from LA. There's Asians, there's Mexicans, there's all kind of races. And I'm kicking it with them, and I'm learning more and more. You know.
As you should. As you should. And that's the idea. You know what I'm saying? And it's even important too to even search the information again that they try to keep hidden. And when I say they, I'm not speaking on the people that are in the situation that we may be in, where we have to work a job, take care of our families, do what we're doing. There's the elites. They're the ones who are hiding certain information and giving us all this scary spookism shit that's keeping us scared from
Mm,
actually doing the research to look and study
mm-hmm.
and understand. But they're using it
Yeah,
every day. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. You have a big ass mansion and a big ass, this kind of car, this kind of car. See,
Mhm.
they done stole half the world. Half the world is named America. They done stole whole
Mhm.
continents. For
Yeah,
what? So for us to
the
be
colonize it
consumers?
and to
We
colonize
ain't
it
sick 'cause
and
we don't
make
have
it
a
the
Mercedes.
American way.
Yeah, we ain't sick 'cause we ain't got a Mercedes. A
Real
nice
shit,
simple life
brother.
is the best life. A nice simple life is the
Mhm.
best life.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Ice Cube said that motherfucker out there with a goddamn kicking it with they got a house and 2 cars, got a couple of kids. Maybe that's the luckiest motherfucker.
Real shit.
Yeah,
That's real talk, my brother. Real
maybe,
talk.
maybe the celebrity is the most miserable person on earth. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause they're just puppets for the
Hmm.
Illuminati, and that's why Pac
Yeah.
dead because he made the Illuminati a household name when he changed his name to Machiavelli. Everybody would have got the book
Hmm.
Machiavelli like, whoa, what the fuck is going
Right.
on?
Right. But let me
Mm,
also say when you're looking at these secret societies, you got to keep in mind that a lot of these secret societies have a lot of infighting. So we hear the bad side of the Masons, of like the occult. At one time, people didn't like the occult. It was demonized. Everything. Now all of a sudden, everybody's walking around with stones, burning incense, talking
Well,
chakras, and this and this and this.
yeah,
That's all occult stuff. And
yeah. I don't
occult
know
is
chakra.
nothing but
I need
and
to get
the
a book on
occult, like you.
chakra. Go ahead.
Well,
Go
there's
ahead.
plenty. There's no, I was just saying, brother. It's certain things, depending on what's being allowed to be learned, will be put out there. You know what I mean? At one time, especially in the '90s, I can recall, even to be considered as a person who would study the occult, you are automatically demonized. Now we're hearing everybody talk spirituality, and we're talking science, and we're talking
Yeah,
chakras, and we're talking incense, and everybody's got candles and burning beads, and or not burning beads, but having certain stones, birthstones, and
oh,
um,
crystals are real.
birth charts,
Crystals.
crystals, and all that. Those things were occult teachings. Now all of a sudden it's out
What?
there, but now they're twisting it and turning it. So when we talk about Freemasons, we're talking about the Masons who are creators, who are good with lumber, who are good with wood, who are good with builders. Then you have the other ones, which are Freemasons, which are the ones who are, again, the chaotic. There's always two sides to a coin. There's the negative, the positive. They go together, but most
When
of us think
um
when we hear Mason, we think automatically it's evil. You know what I mean? Which in some
when
cases it
is it,
is.
Well, like the Scottish right is taking out the Prince Hall and the other ones because the Democrat Party damn near dead. If you look at that as a
Yeah,
Mason war,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it is. They're fighting amongst themselves, and that happens a lot. But that doesn't mean that the whole thing is evil. One aspect of it is evil, to where another side of
I
it
think it
is
is.
actually a positive.
I think it is. They're not as hoarders, and they all hate us. They could get to a
Well,
big ass fight in a brawl, and they want you to take a lick in on who they want you to get a lick in. But after the fight, either you learned your lesson, Bill. He said, "Yeah, I did, George," and then and they go back to doing what they doing, and you still on the outside.
well, that's true too. Or you can choose to be a part of that, because again, a lot of their science is our science. They just took it and stole it and manipulated to mold to go the way that they want to go, and they
Well,
give
they
you
don't believe in karma.
something totally different to study. Say
Yeah,
that again,
go
my
to
good brother.
say again.
No, I was just saying a lot of stuff that they have is really our shit. They just manipulated it and
Yeah,
changed it to
I don't.
where it molds their teachings and what they doing.
Why
You know,
they just can't believe how the pyramids how they got built. Maybe we was that smart and society was running in the right way, and maybe they got help from the gods to do that. About space
it's a
aliens,
possibility.
something. Okay, maybe we just had, it was man. We all getting cotton blocked from the creator. It's the bottom line.
Maybe, or maybe it is just again our own minds that's blocking us and preventing us from actually seeing the true identity of what we are within us. It says it in the Bible, ye are gods. Didn't God say that in the Bible? And I'm not even a religious person, but even God
Uh-huh.
said, ye are gods, that you will do just as great works as I've done. And I'm not a Christian,
Um,
and I
yeah,
understand this concept.
yeah. When we die, do we become gods and we're in the God world?
But why die to be God when you can be God right now?
To be God right now, you got to be amazing.
No, you can have knowledge of self. Therefore, you find the God in you. And when you find the God in you, that's when you can get a better
Well,
understanding of
no.
creation
Well,
and
that
destruction.
would be enlightenment. That would be enlightenment.
Right. And in order
No,
to
no.
have enlightenment, you have to what? Come into light. So from darkness into light, you deal with the
Yes.
lower part aspect, you raise that up, and then you find that light to illuminate your consciousness and your understanding. These are the things that they understand. Problem is they can't set it off. It's up to us to be the ones to set it off.
They are holding that knowledge from you.
Yes, but they can't do anything with it like we can. So therefore, there's always going to be one or two of us who they need to come along and join them so they can siphon that energy and that thought process and that ancestry ability in order to harness whatever it is that they're trying to manifest. You know what
Have
I'm
you heard of the
saying?
boule?
That they can have it. There you have it. See what I mean? The boule. Exactly.
Sigma
That's what
Psi
they
Phi,
need.
Sigma Psi Phi, or Sigma Psi Pi. The boule. Martin Luther King was a Mason. He was he was boule.
Yeah, he was boule. Yep, and he was also a Mason. Absolutely,
Yeah, at that
absolutely.
time it was thing to do. But they really do a lot of undercutting as far as our freedoms and
Hmm.
our our advancement.
Well, I agree, but they also played a role as being a great distraction too, not to us, but
Yeah,
to them.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Marcus Garvey was, and I would say, um, who's the Black Panther that got killed? The kid.
Fred Hampton.
Yeah,
Fred
undercut by
Hampton.
Boule.
Yeah, undercut by Boule. Eldridge Cleaver. That was another one that got undercut by Boule. But I think he later on became Boule too. I think a lot of those Panthers became Boule after a while.
Oh,
But even with that,
they were completely
mhm.
infiltrated, not born
Oh
by
yeah,
their own
oh
people.
yeah,
It's too easy to
easily.
get a nigga to. It's too easy to get a nigga to come throw you off.
They did it to Malcolm X. See what I'm saying? His own people who follow the same so-called religious system and the same pride system of having a black unity and black pride and coming together as a black community and society. So it's even so again, we're looking at the white picture of Jesus, but what if Jesus was black?
Wh-
It's still the
White.
same concept.
Yes,
Doesn't matter
you're
what
right.
color you are. Man is
Correct.
just humanity is just wicked. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
easy to blame the devil
yeah,
for it as an escape.
yeah. That was called
Go ahead, brother.
the human condition.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. And it's easy, like I was saying, it's so easy to blame it on a character that, let's be honest, really doesn't exist. But it's an easier way to say that, well, the devil made me do it, or this is demonic, or this is this. It's easy to place that blame on something just so you don't have to bear that responsibility of that action
Man,
that you just done. You know what
I
I'm
heard a
saying?
white lady break down racism on TikTok so swell. She said that she just
Yeah.
dropped a dime on her people. She said that white people, when they go through, like say, the white woman,
Mhm.
her husband cheated on her or something like that, and she gets fucked over by her people, right? She'll go down
Mhm.
and pull a Karen on a black person in a goddamn supermarket or something.
Oh yeah.
She would
Oh yeah.
blame on something else. She would deflect and not deal with the problem. And she did. She's broken down so swell.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And all of these are just behaviors that's been taught to them. And it works. It works. So
So
trust me,
is it?
if this
So,
shit didn't work for white folks, they wouldn't use it. If it didn't work, they wouldn't use it. They really wouldn't. But it works, so they're going to use it.
how you feel about
Good.
Hollywood? I'm enjoying this shit
How do I
immensely.
how do I
With
feel
this,
about Hollywood?
yeah.
Hollywood is that is in itself is an illusion. You know what I'm saying? It's well, it all depends. Sometimes you can get good movies that'll give you certain information based on what you see in it and what Easter eggs, if you will, that's hidden in the films. But Hollywood overall, just like sports and everything else, it could be a big distraction.
You know, Hollywood is the wood that they use to make magic wands.
Right, right. That's what they base the name off of. Right,
And also,
right.
it's a joke in the Marines. My nephew told me he was a fourth Marines. He said there's
Okay.
what they have a tree called the Joshua tree. It only grows in two
Gotcha.
places: Southern
Mm,
California and Israel.
the Joshua tree. Okay.
Yeah, I was in
Interesting.
when I had my house. When I had a house, it was in Palmdale, which is a high desert, and they had Joshua trees everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah. So when my nephew
Now, see,
came
I
out to
never heard
visit us,
that.
he's like, "Oh, you got Joshua trees here." I'm like, "Yeah, they got a city called Joshua Tree out there."
Mm.
Now I don't want to come home. Man. That's such a good. I have the time of my life right now. I've been eating good, party. I'm partied out. It's hard to party me out. I'm partied out.
He said, I'm partied out. Hey, brother, live
And
it. Hey, live it.
I was in a swimming pool with 10 Asian women. Now I like Asian women, so yeah, my dick was
Ain't
harder
nothing
than
wrong with that, brother.
anyway. Yeah, having a good time out
Mhm.
here, man. But I was actually out of. I consider
Mhm.
myself a revolutionary, so I was out of the game because niggas just don't care. Niggas just ain't. And then I ran into my homeboy, dragged me back in. My homeboy Shaka Sankofa on Facebook. He
Mhm.
got kicked off YouTube. He got kicked off YouTube, but yeah, I love that brother, man.
Damn. Crazy shit, man.
Oh yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. Y'all got time? I could talk all night. I'm watching this. I'm just going to see what happened April 5th, but I'm gonna watch it April 6th and see what was said. It might be just sugar water.
And I definitely been up. I've been up. I think I've been on this panel. I think as soon as I got off work and got in the house, I just jumped on the panel. And I don't know how long we've been on this, man.
Yeah,
Realist, how long we been chopping it up, bro?
I'm looking at the time right now, 3 hours 54 and counting. That's why I'm about
Wow.
to that's why I'm about to end it now. Cause I listen, every time I get up on, I was probably would have been an hour if I would have been up here myself. But if it wasn't for Wraith up here, I'm saying I'm glad he helped me run up the numbers because one of the reasons I jumped up here was to try to get up some more watch hours. So I appreciate y'all.
Oh
Yeah, I
man,
said
wow.
job by the way. He's the most underrated out of the whole circle. He's the
Mm.
most underrated.
So you gave me some homework, bro. So I'm definitely going to do some research on you, man. And
Oh
nice
yeah,
to meet you. I'm gonna
next time
sub
we
up
do a
to your
show,
channel, man.
his next show, I'm gonna have some pen and paper. But don't be shocked when you come to my show. It's complete ignorance and chaos. Don't be going off, man.
You need that though. You need the balance. Sometimes I need a little chaos. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
all need
yeah.
a little
You come,
chaos in order. You know what I mean? So I
yeah, yeah.
got you, brother.
Definitely
One of
get a
the,
kick out of
yeah,
it. Definitely.
Is that
you
right?
coming to the real.
See, I'm
Yeah, this is who I am in real life. I'm talking to.
same,
When I get over
same,
there, I'm going to
same.
my old head. Old head is a mix of Dolomite and Mudbone, the Richard Pryor character. That's who old head is. Really.
Oh, so you get down like them black expectation films and all that jive talk.
Yo, hey, he crazy, man.
Listen,
All right, I'm
listen,
tapping in with you, man.
I got some homework for you. When you leave this show,
Okay.
I want you to look at Shine in the Titanic by Dolomite. Would you Ray Moore? Listen to
All right,
that. And you see what
say that say that one more time. You were breaking up. I want to get you clear.
Shine in the Titanic by Rudy Ray
Shining the
Moore.
time.
Listen to that. Now you know what I'm like.
By really okay. You said Rudy Ray Moore.
Shine in the Titanic. Yep.
See, I've
Write it
seen a
down.
couple of his movies. Yeah, I'm definitely going because I've seen a couple of his movies and they were wild. But yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
Man,
Let
that's a
me
funny
write that down.
motherfucker. Whatever. A funny nigga
Yeah,
back.
yes. Hell yeah. But I'm gonna let Realist shut it down so he can
So,
do what he do. Brother
yeah, my
Realist,
favorite black
appreciate you having me up. No, go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to
No
interrupt you.
problem,
What you
bro.
saying?
man, I'm in this conversation, man. I got much respect.
No doubt, no doubt.
Really
You
earn my
appreciate you.
respect. And before you go, really, you crack me up over that light bill situation with your baby mama.
You get your ass up out of here, old head.
I'm out of here, man.
I ain't fucking with that crazy as hell. Yeah.
All right, man.
Oh
100.
man,
All right,
I'm
man.
getting up with this brother for real. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, he go
All right,
back
man.
Uh,
with people.
See
All
you
right,
soon,
old
brother.
okay. Yes,
man.
Peace.
sir. I'm on it. Please. All right, brother Willis. Appreciate you for having me up, man. I
You
mean,
already
like I said, I seen you were live. I just wanted to catch up with you, brother. I'm glad I was able to help you up with some numbers and run things up. You know, whatever you had in mind, I'm glad I was able to contribute. I just did it because I wanted to chop it up, bro. So
Yeah,
appreciate it.
anytime, bro. Anytime. You know what I'm saying? You know I don't get a chance to really do this too many times, but anytime,
Uh,
you welcome anytime, bro. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You always been a real one, bro.
Hey, that's all I can be, man. I can't be up here on some bullshit. You know, we get enough of that. You know what I'm saying? We need to get some people
Sure.
that's on the ground level. You know what I'm saying? Peace
Definitely.
and gratitude, brother Willis, and salute to everybody in the chat.
You already, bro. Peace and blessings, my God.
Peace, brother.
Yo, shout out to anybody who popped in real quick. Anybody popped up in the chat. Shout out to Old Head. Shout out to Wes Wraith. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna say the same thing I always say. Just be mindful how you treat people. You know, um, just produce the same energy you want back in return. That's why I always tell people slide accordingly, man. You know what I mean? Let me bounce up off of here. Peace and blessings. Y'all be good.